Call to order C4 Ritchie City Council meeting Tuesday, August 12th, 2025. I'd like to invite conservative leaders to education remain standing.
So, Father, we just want to thank you for this day. We want to ask for wisdom. I thank you for the city and the council here and the stuff that's on the consent agenda. Lord, for the water dredging and the board of committees and stuff, the utility department and the Port Ritchie sign code and the overlay at Waterfront Park and the boat parking in the city. So we just thank you that we could come together and just make decisions together as a team and watch you work in our cities and our life. And we just want to give you all the praise, glory, and honor in the name of Jesus. Amen. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, have a roll, please.
Mayor John Eric Hoover,
Here.
Vice Mayor Chris Mayer,
Here.
Councilman Robert Hubbard,
Here.
Councilwoman Lisa Burke,
Here.
City Attorney Nancy Meyer, here, City Manager Andrew Butterfield.
Here. Thank you. Okay, first up, we got several sets of minutes. We'll go down the list on the May 20th, 25 City Council special meeting minutes. There was references with Vice Mayor Rodriguez in there. Intermix. There's like 3 spots, so we got a motion for that. We motioned to change that to the correct Vice Mayor.
Motion to correct it to Vice Mayor.
Okay. Motion second. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next up, I need a motion for the May 27th City Council meeting minutes.
So moved.
Oh, go ahead. Second. Okay. Motion second for discussion. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, I need a motion for June 10th City Council minutes.
Make a motion to approve the June 10th minutes.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Motion second for discussion. Okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Need a motion for the June 16th set of City Council minutes.
Make a motion to approve June 16th minutes.
Second.
Okay. Motion second for discussion. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And last set, I need a motion for June 24th, 25 City Council minutes.
Make a motion to approve June 24th.
Second. Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, next up, comments from the general public. I have 2 folks signed up. We'll start with Danny Fields. Welcome. He always makes the top of the list.
Well, I'm always here early, but that's all right. I could give one of them a spot and they'd come in. You know me. Well, my name's Danny Fields. My address is 8114 Leo Kid, and I just again want to thank the city for all that you guys do. We had the event at in the Waterfront Park. It was a great success on July the 26th, and we give out the backpacks and stuff to the kids, and the police and fire department was there, and they got to pass them out, and there was music, and I thank you for being there, Mayor, and the Vice Mayor, and the council, and Dave Mueller, and it was a great success. And so I will read something that is from Dave and Nancy, but not our Nancy, the lawyer. I want to make sure that was clear, but
Thank you.
So Somebody Cares, we want to say we can't even say thank you enough for the local churches and the businesses around here and the families and communities for all the partnership with Somebody Cares and reaching out into the community for back to school backpack giveaway. You're really appreciated. We can't thank you enough. There was over 350 people plus there. They was over 350 volunteer hours. The price of all that with the supplies that was given and donations from our business here locally and all that, and the labor and time and the resources went into that was $10,000. And so we can't thank the police and fire department enough for what they do in the city, because that makes a big difference. A lot of people was there from the city, and you could see the outpour. They got to know the mayor. They got to talk to you guys and the council. And I tell you, that's what public relationship is, and building. It's putting the city on the map in a lot of good ways, and we're growing just like you see with what we did the 100-year celebration with the stuff that you guys already did. We want to continue to partner with you when you guys do car shows and events like that. Promote each other and be there in the events, and this is how the city will grow. It's a great place to work, a great place to live, and to partner and have a business, and for guests, people to come in and see what we're doing and growing. And we just been growing, and I can't thank you enough for all the labor and the work that you put in here serving the community and the people, and it's well known. And I say that to every one of you, is thank you. And have a nice day.
Appreciate you. And if you get a chance to see some of those pictures out there, there's a flashback to the Wild Hogs movie. Myself, Dave, and Chris were on the bicycle, or not bicycle, but the motorcycle ministry had the bikes out there, and we took a picture. It was kind of fun.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, because there was Christian motorcycle associations, different ones out there serving and cooking and volunteering too. So thank you. It was on my list, but I was just trying to get to the agenda. But that makes a difference. And other ones are starting to notice what we do in the businesses, and they want to be more of a part of the city. They want to be more part of these events, even the car show. So we're heading in the right direction. We just keep doing what we're doing, okay?
Thank you, Danny. Next up, I have Jerry Griffin. Welcome.
Good evening. I'm Jerry Griffin, 7638 Deidre Circle. So first I want to thank Dave for all the good things he's done on council here. He's been here a while. And this whole council, since you guys have taken over, have completely changed the city. I came in here tonight because I wanted to support Christine Sullivan in her bid for that chair right there. I met her about a year and a half ago. And she's got her finger on the pulse of the city. She knows everything that's going on. She pays attention, and she's very fact-oriented. So she looks up everything and makes sure she crosses all her T's and dots her I's. And I think she'd be an excellent replacement for Mr. Mueller. And then let the cards fall where they may come election time. Okay. Thank you, and that's all I wanted to say.
Thanks, Jerry. That's all science I have, so show of hands. Mr. Mueller. If we queue up that 3 minutes.
I don't know. I got a pretty good thick.
Give him a timer.
Dave Mueller, 5439 Blue Point Drive for the next month. I personally want to thank Chief and for keeping the officers safe and following up on something that has been clawing at me for a long time, is dealing with these illegal gambling facilities. I've had an individual write me a note, send me an email regarding how her husband had lost lots of money in one of these things. And it's something that the city needs to take care of. And I appreciate you following through on what you said you'd do, because that's what we need, is we need people willing to go out and do what they say and say what they do. And I thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Anyone else like to speak? Come on up. Right on time.
Well, you got 3 minutes though.
Yeah.
Rob Kenworthy, 5800 Queener Avenue. Boy, it's hot out there. Dave, thank you very much. Excellent. All of you, great job. We're going in the right direction. I'd like to keep going in the right direction. Christine, I think, would be the one to help fill that seat very well. Most of you know her. Most of you know how much she's done just for the sake of doing it, to help out. She's benefited nothing from it. I think it's time she should benefit from it, at least a little bit. She's got the time, she's got the knowledge, she's got the strength, the energy, and the passion for the city. So basically, that's my first comment. I'll come back for the next 3 minutes on something different. All right, Christine.
Appreciate your comment.
Thank you.
All right. Show of hands. Anyone else like to speak? Okay. Seeing none, we'll bring it back and open up for comments from the city manager. I'll pass it to Mr. Butterfield for his comments.
Thanks. Good evening, Mayor, Council. Thank you, sir. I'll piggyback on what former Councilman Mueller said. Real proud of the police department for the leadership there. Chief, thank you so much. Working with our partners at the state level and our neighbors next door, Newport Richey, and going after illegal activity right out in the open. It takes a lot to put something like that together, and we're real proud and thankful for that work. That's right on top of the fire department. I think I mentioned this last time, getting ALS qualified at all times when a truck rolls out of our fire station. So both of our forces are on quite a roll. I just, it was mentioned the open council seat, and so whoever's placed in that tonight, of course, my office will be open for as long as I need to get the in brief, meet department heads, that sort of thing, and get any information they need to get a running start so we stay on a roll. Just for everybody's calendars, there's a town hall meeting at Sand Pebbles on the books for 6 o'clock on the 2nd of September, right after the holiday weekend. So figuring it's a holiday, I don't want people forgetting. So I thought I'd...
September 2nd? Yeah.
September 2nd at Sand Pebble. I don't know the unit.
They have a clubhouse there.
Clubhouse.
And actually, if I could break in there for a second.
Sure.
So
Yeah, go ahead.
I spoke with management over there early on to get that arranged. And I spoke to Jared Hill yesterday, and they're having a meeting on Monday. They're all pretty much on board with having that meeting. The only thing I've mentioned is that we have to allow people outside the gates to be able to join that, and so they have to take that to their board. He didn't see a problem with that, so we'll find out for sure on Monday if they're okay with that, which they should be. But if not, we'll have to probably move it back to here City Hall because we can't restrict. We can't restrict to a community for town hall, even if we were focused on it. Yeah, and so that's what they've got to opine on Monday. So we should find out for sure, but obviously keep moving ahead on that. And if the last minute we find out Monday we can't, we'll just have the town hall here. But as of right now, we're planning on doing that on site at the clubhouse.
That's thank you, Mayor. That's an important point. It's open to everybody. We're trying to get out and about around the different parts of the town for hosting. I'm glad to see Matt Starr is here today. He's going to be from Stantec, and he's going to be helping us get that seagrass study done, hopefully before the end of the FY here, before the season closes. The event committee, we're looking forward to them meeting tentatively. I think we've nailed it down to the 19th, a week from tonight. Yeah, at 5. So if you want to attend that new events committee. After this meeting tonight, we've got the CRA meeting scheduled, so stick around after the gavel comes down the first time. The Planning and Zoning Board, if we can get quorum, is tentatively scheduled for next or 2 weeks from now on the afternoon of the 26th. With more to follow on that. And annexation is a big topic right now, and so we'll be trying to give the P&Z Board some guidance on our annexation efforts. And lastly, because the even year legislature meets January 13th in 2026. We have to start planning early we just got our asks for 25. We've got to start putting a list together now to get it to Mike Moore by early September so that he can work for us in the halls in Tallahassee during the committee's meetings during the fall and then in the session starting in January. So directors are supporting me and come up with a prioritized list. And 2 weeks from tonight, we plan on presenting that list to council, what we think our priorities for the city are that we're going to ask for state help. Just keep that in mind. I'll get with everybody on council beforehand. So when I present individually, so when we're looking at the list 2 weeks from now, hopefully we'll be able to build consensus on what's plausible to ask for, and hopefully keep the city on the move. That's all I have right now, sir.
Okay, thanks. And just to add on to that, so obviously that initial list, Mike will go through that and kind of vet it and kind of pick and choose what he thinks would be good to go forward with. So we kind of put the big list together. He narrows it down to something we actually be asking for, and that's where we go with that. So
we have a better chance because
because he kind of knows
Right.
what people's priorities are and what hot topics and stuff. It's a better chance of getting funding. So, okay, thank you.
Mayor. Thanks.
Okay, next up, comments from boards, committees. Is there any comments from boards, committees? I have a couple things. If you look over to my right, your left in the audience, you'll see from our centennial celebration, the plaques that we got for each of the sponsors. So take a look at those. There was 3 tiers. The largest ones were the $20,000 and $10,000 donations. The middle ones were below that down to 1,000, I think, and 1,000 below was the smaller ones. Is that?
Yeah, a little bit.
Anyway, 3 sizes basically. We just kind of tiered it up with the amount of sponsorship, and so those. My thought was that we would schedule a little social here in council chambers where we would invite all the sponsors to come, have some cookies and drinks, have open house type thing, and then we could give those out. And then for anybody who can't make it, then I could make sure they got that delivered to them. So that's kind of the plan. But take a look at those. They turned out really good. And a little token they can sit on their shelf or in their display case for helping us out.
Sal's wife that designed them.
Yeah, she actually helped with the.
Yes, Sal's wife actually helped with design. It
Yeah,
turned out really
they're
good.
really nice.
It's our logo was kind of tough to get on an acrylic thing like that, but it turned out really pretty good for all the poles and stuff on a stilt house, and it really turned out good. So they turned out nice. Another thing on boards committees. So with Dave vacating his seat, we have a vacancy on the Tampa Bay Regional Planning Commission board. I attended that meeting in his stead the other day, and so we need to replace that. I don't have a problem continuing doing that. I know it may be difficult for some because their meetings start at 10 and then they go to 12, and then normally there's a meeting after that every other, I think, with the resiliency committee, which Pete Altman was there, who chairs that committee. He actually is going to put my name in for the chair. I don't think it's mutually exclusive. I think I could be on that committee, but not be on the council. But if you guys are okay, I'm happy to fill that role. Or if you guys have a burning desire to take that, we can look at that too. But we need to have somebody sit on that committee.
Do you want a motion or consensus?
By consensus, is there any objection to me filling that role?
I would say yes on that, but if you get overwhelmed, that you should reach out to one of us and have us do that. Because you're already doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah, sure. And I don't know if on that if there's an opportunity for an alternate, but is there somebody who would want to be an alternate, or
Is it they need a representative from city and you're it?
one of the elected to sit on the board? Yeah.
Ask them. I mean, I think any of us would fill in if we had to.
And we leave that open if for some reason I can't make it.
And I've been to that with Dave twice. It's pretty interesting to go to. So you guys might want to go down with Eric 1 time or 2 times and just get used to it. That way, if we have to fill in for him.
Yeah, and you're more than welcome to go. I mean, there's just like council chambers here. There's seats for spectators and whatnot.
You know when the meetings are.
Yeah, and we can publish that maybe even on our calendar. I don't know if it's not really city stuff, but they meet once a month. I can get Ashley the dates and she can disseminate it out so you guys have them.
That way we can notice that. That'd be nice.
Or just text us at least. I mean.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
So any objection to me filling that? Okay. I'll represent well. Like I said, if I can't make that, I'll make sure that you guys have an opportunity to fill that.
Send out a calendar invite.
Yeah, that'd be great.
To the council.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Any other boards and committees stuff? Okay. Moving right along to the consent agenda. Item number 2, we got a consent agenda for August 12th, 2025 for a motion and or discussion.
Make a motion. We approve the consent agenda for today.
For a second.
Second.
Okay, motion second. Any further discussion? Any public comment? Seeing none, bring back for a vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next up is council business. Item number 3, approval of Stantec waterway dredging data collection and feasibility analysis services. I'll pass it to Mr. Copper for introduction. Mr. Butterfield.
Got it covered either way. Matt Starr, he gave us a great briefing about a month ago, and we gave him direction that the council wanted to add some canals that weren't included, and so he put the package back together with some additional waterways. Talking with you earlier today, Mayor, you might have wanted to tweak it again. I'm not sure how feasible that is. maybe we could approve this so we don't miss the season inspections, and with a caveat to modify it later. But that might be worth discussing because you had in mind.
Yeah, so I could pull that up and kind of show you. So we had a scope, right? And then we had the map back in the day when there was a lot more stuff that wasn't in that. And so they've added that. And I believe what we have now in the packet pretty much reflects that original map that we went with. And let me share, Ashley. Oh, I need to share, Ashley.
We just added a few more canals, right?
Yeah, but I'm going to
One moment.
make some recommendations to see what you all think.
So this would be the cover all the studies. It's a little higher price tag than last month because of additional canals, and but it would set us up for future actual dredging operations after they're all done.
So this is kind of small, but so this is in the packet on page 38. If you want to look on your machines, but we have all the Miller's Bayou in there with the canals and the across the pond over there, and then that one. This was the original document we looked at before anything was added, and then we have the city canals that up there, Betty and Green.
I look at this and I approve of some of it, but I see there's some canals that just don't need it. There's already
Right, and I'm gonna get to that in just a
I
second.
know where there's rocks and where
Right.
everything's fine. So there's a lot on here that doesn't need to be done.
So the addition, so that was the original, and then they came back and they added our additional stuff in, which you'll see down on page 61. You'll see the Harbor Point area, which is obviously important. There's this channel 23, which I'm going to talk specifically about. Down here in Deidre Circle, going through there, I think we need to have a conversation about that. And then that other stuff there was that little Y going down towards Deidre Circle along the edges there. And I think these other things were additions too. That canal was left off there towards Harbor Point. It's like Sand Pebble Inlet, and then this little curvature here on the end of the peninsula.
So how many were actually added?
So all that was added in this packet now for the cost of $470,000, I believe. That correct?
Yes. Yes.
What was the original cost, Eric?
Original cost was $220 something, I think.
292.
Oh, $292. Okay. So what I want to discuss is this particular section here, channel 23. And it might be better to kind of show you on the actual map. So that's this section right here in the middle. You get this pond, and then what it shows on there is going through here and then connecting up here to Canal on Betty. As you can see, there's no pathway there. So I think anything that would happen, we would have to do some excavating in order to make these connections. So it doesn't really make any sense to do the study along this area here.
That's on Bay.
On Bay, right behind like Steve's house back.
And not at this time, yeah.
Yeah, because obviously it would be nice to have some kind of connection, and I think probably the logical connection would be if we ever raised Bay Boulevard to connect it there where it's already got a connection to where they could possibly get underneath the bridge and out through the bayou. But it doesn't make much sense to do the study here, connecting all this to the Canal and Betty, because there's no pathway there. So I would recommend pulling that out for sure. And like I said, if we ever went any further, we could always come back in and do that. But there's no sense to do it now because we have to do a lot more to make that feasible. And what I'd like to see that was kind of left out, and my thought behind this is we need more water access. The county wants it, the state wants it, and we need it, right? And with our development that could go in down here at the waterfront, we may need to look at Nix Park a little differently and how that routes. And if obviously we're going to keep Nix Park, we're going to make it a centerpiece where we get maybe some public dockage and stuff in the future. But a ramp depending on how that all develops down there, may not make sense to have boats transiting through that commercial area. So I think, and also we've got the Pasco and Newport Richey project that's going to put a boat ramp and marina and stuff on the south side of the river. I was looking up here at Brasher Park, and I don't think I've ever brought this to council. I've kind of had conversations on the side with city managers, both Andy and then Matt before. We actually took the bathroom facility and stuff out here, so we have to do something with that at Brasher Park. The park, little playground area, needs to have some work done to it. So we really need to put some investment into Brasher Park. And I'm going to show you in a couple pages here. Brasher Park footprint is really, so this is Nix Park, and this is Brasher Park. So if you look at the area of Brasher Park, you're about 4,000 square meters based on my outline here. Nix Park is 4,000 square meters. So Brasher Park is basically pretty much the same footprint as Nix Park. So I was thinking, as we do the study, and we were only going out to about here, so somewhere in here, I think is what the study showed. That instead of do that one place, if we go ahead and take that out and actually do the study around Brasher Park with the intent that we would look at providing another local launch there in the future for boats. Question?
Providing another or changing?
Well,
because that's two different things.
providing another from the, because we don't really know what's going to happen in Nix Park going forward. So providing another would be the thought process, and then being a replacement if we ever decided to.
I don't see how that could be a replacement unless you did a lot of because it might be the same area for parking, the same as Nix now.
Right.
But there's also other parking around Nix, and there's nothing.
But there is. If you go to the end of that road, there's 4 lots, right?
So
there.
that's
3 lots that are sitting vacant.
Nobody's gonna park clear down there and
Sure,
then
you run a golf cart. Run a golf cart back.
Nobody's gonna bring a boat in a golf cart.
No. We'll run a golf cart back and forth or something.
What do you mean we, the city?
Well, the same way they do it down at Newport Richey. They run one to the parking garage all day, every day.
So there is,
That's not gonna happen.
so there is opportunity to have some additional parking on down from that. But again, you're right. There is parking across the street now. Keywords now. Those properties are for sale.
True.
And will probably be developed at some point as well. So, from the city park perspective and the parking that we provide and that we own, you're talking about the same footprint, and you might be able to squeeze a little bit more just the way it's there. The real problem is the depth of the water going across the flats to get out.
And there's all those mangroves there at the end. I mean, you can't even see off that point, let alone.
A mile of dredging there.
Yeah, I'm not. We probably couldn't touch the mangrove stuff there. I don't know that.
No, look at your limited access, and
But I
it's
didn't-
shallow.
Yeah, I didn't include that. So just the actual grass part you see is in the. So yeah, I didn't include the mangroves.
If you could put a ramp in there as a second ramp, okay. But if your plan is to,
I like the idea, but I think we need to stick to necessity at this moment as far as the dredging.
Well, right.
But that I think is a good idea for the future.
But hear me out on this. And so, again, if we want to talk about it later, whatever, it's pertinent because we got to get these guys started on the survey, and whatever we take out or whatever, I think that's something we can look at. I'd like to ask to see if there's any appetite at the federal level or even the county level or state level to help us maybe get some dredging so that if we did put a launch in there, we would have some access.
would that be something we could take to the state?
Yes, and that's one of the things I've asked Sandy to do is if we were to look at what it would take to turn that into a boat ramp facility, we could go that this year to the state to see if there's any, because they're looking for places to get people on the water.
Right.
So that might be a good opportunity to ask for some money to
to
develop that.
They can come back and do that with some other areas at a later date then if we take.
Well, they're already here.
I know, but I'm talking about the money we have right now.
Right.
I think it's worth looking into. I don't think there's anything. What is the investment going to be for us to do that?
In order for us to permit anything around there, we would have to have this done. And so
we're going to have to dredge it anyway. That's going to be additional stuff, right? So you're still going to have to do the seaweed test and grass test and all that stuff. Right?
Well, so dredging's a whole nother conversation. This is just the engineering to see what's there, what's submerged, seagrass, and all the stuff that they're going to
So
do.
you're thinking pull it from over there and check this
I'm
out?
thinking we go ahead and while they're here, go ahead
How
and
long
just
does it
stand down
last?
there and go around that.
How
Park
much
area.
more would that cost to do that whole survey for about a mile of dredging?
I have to ask, but I'm assuming if we pull out that strip behind here, it's probably a wash. It's about right around the same.
Okay.
Because also we don't need to do this.
But some other areas that, I mean, we can pull out because it's plenty of water in some of these canals that are on, or couple of them anyway.
Right. And like I said, the other thing is if we're going out here and we don't go all the way, you're not completing the path. And like I said, we own out the Brasher Park, so I think we should include that in the study. And whether we do anything with it later on or not, but at least we'll have it, and that gives us the opportunity if we want to seek funding. Maybe we'll get some funding to make a launch there. It can only help. And like I said,
That's a good point. That's a good point.
I'll make the motion.
well, before you do that, so that was the one section. The other section I want to talk about is, and I'm glad Jerry's here because he might be able to have a little information on this because he lives over or has a house over there. The other, where's my map? The other section that was on there goes down through here, and right here there is a culvert with a pipe that you have to go under. Okay,
Yeah, been there many times.
have you been back here in a boat?
Used to fish in my John boat back there
Yeah.
for snook all the time.
You can cross under that with a John boat.
Yeah, so
I've been on there.
and depending on the tide or whatever, you might go get, but it's low. And obviously, if we were going to do anything to allow more boats, we'd have to probably open that up somehow.
Is it a
Yeah,
sewer line?
you're-
It's a big.
Years ago under Doc
Hey,
Masada.
if you come to the podium, Jerry, go ahead and come up on just so I can, since you're kind of familiar with the area.
So when Doc Masad was here, the plan was to open that up, to put a bridge over it. The dredging was going to go through there and allow boat access. If you see the Lake Deidre right there, right across the street, it's down a little bit.
Oh, on down farther.
Canal keeps going.
There you
Well,
go.
right here. This is Lake
there.
Deidre here, though, right?
Yeah.
So there's right there where your pointer is. That canal goes straight out to the Gulf right now. You can go all the way out.
Along to the west,
Yep.
Rocky Creek.
Yep. Rocky Creek goes all the way to the Gulf. And I used to keep that open with my airboat. The fan would bust the mangroves, and it's deep water. And all you got to do is trim the mangroves, and there's one big rock. And once you get past that house out there, it's at low tide, it's about 2 feet. There's not a lot of it that has to be dredged, but some of it does. But there's nowhere, but you can put a boat ramp right there behind my house. You see that big lot? Yeah, no, behind it. No, go a little bit further south. See that big lot right there?
This?
Sail. So you actually could put a boat ramp there and go straight out Rocky Creek and be in the Gulf. And it's not that far. It's about, as you see, 150 yards. It's not a mile.
Trucks and trailers run up and down them streets, so I think that would tick some people off.
Trucks and trailers. No, you come in from Limestone and you go up,
Right?
what's the one Aaron lives on the back? You come in that way and you go right up Limestone and you're there.
Residential loaded, whereas Brasher
Limit?
Park isn't.
Do you want limit?
Limit.
Yeah.
You could come up Limit and it's all dead now. They're cleaning
Is
it
it
out.
Rocky Creek, Pasco County?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, that's not Port Richey.
I mean, I think we have back in here somewhere. I think all these houses are us, but Limit Drive is kind of the line. And I don't want to get too far down. Yeah, I don't want to get too far down this because what the scope of this study that was done, it was basically coming down here, looping in Deidre.
That's how the study already includes Deidre Circle, the one they paid for before. It includes Deidre Circle and goes out the way underneath the.
It did not come and make the turn though, on the diagram that we had. And I don't know, like I said, I don't know why it did not, but it came in here and it looped around, and that's what you'll see on.
But
Let me go back to the
even leaving Deidre.
right here. See this? That's what the original document back to Taylor Engineering did. Just had that. It didn't come down here. So
But the problem with Lake Deidre is at low tide, that section coming out of Lake Deidre is high and dry. There's nothing. You got to really dig.
Right here.
Yep.
Yeah. So there's a choke point here, and if you
Completely dry.
Deidre Circle, you can see that's almost runs dry sometimes.
Completely dry at low tide.
So you got a choke point there. You've got a choke, and I don't know how deep it is through here, but you got, I think, a choke point right here. You kind of meander through there, but then you got a definite height issue here. So the question is do we want to?
Not until we put a bridge there. There's no need to.
Yeah. So I would somewhat agree, although I think it's an easier path to do something there. I know there's folks that live in that area that want dredging, and so
I think if we talk to Pasco County about Rocky Creek, and then we could do a joint effort, hopefully.
yeah, if I think that would be a very viable solution if we could open up Rocky Creek with the help of Pasco, whatever. Instead of taking them out that way, you take them down through there.
We
That would
could
make a lot more
dredge
sense.
Deidre in that area back in there, and then Pasco could take it out.
So, what's you all's thoughts?
Going out through Rocky Creek looks great.
So, but I think that would be obviously a separate thing we look at.
Rocky Creek looks like a lot more work than the other one does. Right, as far as another boat ramp.
Well, I don't know. I'm not familiar with Rocky Creek. You been back in there?
Yeah, it's that and Oyster Bayou. Been back in there, yeah. My John boat years ago. Not my current boat, but yeah.
So that's my recommendation. Like I said, I think we take out this right behind Martha's Vineyard. We replace it, go around Brasher, and connect all the way, going out that canal there, and then we can see what maybe we can do later on for that. I think we probably pull out this down here on the backside with Deidre.
That's a lot right there. And
That will probably lower our costs from where we're at now.
Yeah, there's a bridge. You can't get in there. So.
You want to come up?
And what other canals, Bob said that he didn't think, that are on there that he didn't think needed it?
Yeah.
Here, I can pull it up by on screen.
I'm just concerned if we treat it like an a la carte menu, if Matt's going to be able to come up with a new price in time for us to vote, and then if we don't vote tonight, then.
Well, I think we approve it with that. I don't think we're going to be.
We can approve this, then we can whittle it down when he gets here, right? We can discuss that.
I mean, I would suggest we make the changes around Brasher. We take out what we want,
right.
And they just, again, if you look at the length there, and you look at the length there, we're probably going to come in at the same price or less.
But we're still under a time constraint, right?
Right. People before they just modify their maps on those suggestions.
That big canal down Aquila is deep, except for this one rock bend out there. It's like 8 feet deep there.
This?
Between Aquila and Channel Drive, which is, it's not even on that. It's not even on here, actually. It was on the other one, though. It's the second canal in on the left.
The one these are additions, so it's on the original.
Original.
That long one's on there. This long canal, yeah, that's already on there. This is an additive.
It doesn't need to be on there. Is all I'm saying.
Oh, you're saying? Well,
It's the boat ramp for that neighborhood,
yeah.
right?
The boat ramps at the end.
Oh yeah, there's a boat ramp.
The long
there.
one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
No,
It's on page 44.
the idea behind this is to find out does it need it or not, and to do all the other things around it. So maybe you could give some background on what exactly the reason for this is.
Sure, thank you. Matthew Starr, Stantec Consulting Services, Clearwater, Florida. Yeah, the intent of this investigation now is to take a snapshot in time to see what the current conditions are in the field, to assess the seagrass, see where it is, where it isn't, do a hydrographic survey to see how deep the water is, what needs to be dredged, what does not need to be dredged, engage the permitting agencies with the Army Corps and Department of Environmental Protection, see what their appetite for dredging is, what type of permit they might issue to do the dredging. That is the intent of this scope of work at this point in time. It's a feasibility study to assess the waterways within the city.
Okay. So by doing that, they may find in Aquila that you do anything. And so then when we come back to actually execute on any dredging, we could leave that out based on that information. We'd have those surveys.
And I notice you don't have anything as far as Moonlit Bayou in the city on there at all.
Where's this?
Lumberland, all the way up to Manatee Point.
The big open area around Crab Shack.
Yeah, the only thing that was on the original plan was this strip right here.
Originally, it went all the way down to the point. There's some houses, like 6 houses down from me. They can't even get out, barely at high tide. Low tide, there's a big oyster bar there. They
Well, so
can't.
yeah, so that it's going down somewhere in here, and you're saying around the bend.
Yeah, and then you got that canal that goes up and behind it, not Naudio, or all the way up to where the debris field is. That's already been dredged behind Weber.
That's correct.
So that doesn't need to be on there at all, obviously, but they could just move it down to the end of Manatee Point, but they need to be dredged there. I see it comes right down to just about my house, which is cool, but it needs to go on down farther because I got more water than they have.
Well, I wonder if we run into a point where we're not in our jurisdiction.
We're in Newport Richie, right?
Well,
No, that's
the land portion, obviously, we own a couple, 5 houses along Manatee Point Drive here. Not own them, but that's our jurisdiction. It's split there. But as far as the waterway, I don't know if we have the ability to do anything with that. Do you know the answer to that? It's not a Port Richey canal. It's a probably a federal waterway or state waterway, I imagine.
I wouldn't be able to answer that question offhand. I mean, if you want to survey it and collect data to get a snapshot in there, there's nothing restricting the city from collecting data.
No.
As far as ownership and who's going to pay for it, that's a different question. That'd have to be investigated.
It's not much more than what's on there. You're talking, maybe another 150 feet.
Take it down to the city line.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm okay with that.
You don't even have to go to the point because once you get past those houses, about 4 or 5 houses down there, there's plenty of water to get out. It's just right in that one area there. They can't use a boat. There's a couple houses that can't put a boat in the water there. And a couple of the people that have been complaining about for 10 years not getting dredged. So
I want to cover as much city as possible, and obviously if that's part of the city, and we collect data there. Again, I don't know if we're able to do anything with it, but at least we'd have the data we could.
Take a look.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can certainly add that.
Yeah. So, if are you guys all in agreement to take out the Deidre portion here for now? Again, I think we look.
No.
Isn't this 3 minutes up?
Yeah.
Just get an airboat. He's fine. They thought Channel 23 and Deidre Circle need to come out.
Again, I'm not saying we don't maybe look at trying to open that up there.
Oh, no, I agree.
Or open it up even below, or find a solution. I think we need to find a solution, but I think for this initial point, it doesn't do any good for us to get that information now because I think there's a lot
to do
of
with
stuff.
that right now.
Yeah.
There's a bridge on one side and the other part's Pasco County.
Yeah, it's just buying up. I mean, it would be something if we move forward with it, we'd be ready to maybe get the permits and they'd expire because it just takes so long to be able to do something. So
I think we have a responsibility to move forward. And I know it sounds like a lot of money, but our whole community is dependent on these waterways.
100%.
And for us to get access to these waterways, good, reliable access to these waterways is our responsibility. And so this is the first step. This is like, we can't do anything. We can talk about dredging. We can put 100,000 here, 200,000 there, $1 million here. But until we get this done, we can't do anything. So this is the first step.
Right.
You want to do like Deidre Circle in the lake and out, and then maybe down around the back, and then when we dredge later, those are already dredged.
So are you? We're going to get this done, right?
Right.
That's not the question, and we're going to decide that tonight, and we're going to send him off. What boundaries? What are we
I'll
going to
make
do?
a motion that we include the stuff that you talked about at Brasher. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just the way you claimed. I vote that we don't do anything with Deidre right now because you've got too many other obstacles in there right now. It's going to tie us up.
Right.
We spend our money where we need to spend our money, and we go to where Bob said, go to the end of the line there, where the folks that have been complaining to him for 10 years are going to get some service, and let's get that mapped out so we can find out we need to.
And
do
then
that.
Channel 23 that's on here, pull that out as well.
Correct.
Okay.
We're all in agreement with that.
That's my motion.
I second it.
Second by Bob.
Okay. Is there any further discussion? Any public comment? Okay. Seeing none, I'll bring it back for a vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And so obviously there'd be a cost change. I'm assuming we'll probably be around that based on what you're seeing. So just to recap for you, channel 23 comes out. This long, long thing with the circle on the end of it comes out.
Looks like an upside down
Oh.
lollipop with a bent handle.
Yeah, can you? Here,
You can't see your screen.
you can see up there.
Yeah, but
Yeah, so this long tail and circle comes out. Okay, and what we added. Let's go to Earth. Actually, so you've already got this that goes down to about that dock there.
You're going to go a little further.
So that's this dock right here. So it would basically go down to the city line along the bank.
Yeah, if you move that down,
Yeah, you just
Put
keep
the
rolling
cursor
down
down.
along the bank until you
go
get to
down,
the city line.
keep going a little bit right there.
Somewhere in one
You
of
can
these
see
houses.
the oyster bar right there.
Here?
Yep. And it's at low tide. There's like 6 inches of water there. High tide, it's still really tight.
Right. Well, based on the city jurisdiction, I would just drop it at that line, wherever that is.
Aren't all those houses there on Manatee, the backyards in Port Richey?
Bob, when they
5
dredge,
of
do they pull out the oyster bars and all that stuff comes right out?
They don't need to pull that oyster bar out where the cursor is now. I just need to dredge right in front of the docks is all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just mud and silt and stuff, right?
Just
And again, this is a dredging conversation.
they're
They're going to survey to see what needs to happen.
Right. He'll show you.
So they'll say, "Here's what we got."
We got oyster bars or we got mud, right?
Right.
Not removing the oyster bars.
No,
No, don't need to do
that's
that.
like there forever. Just leave it alone.
Yep.
And so you understand that addition, right? And then the other one is basically extend your line coming out this canal all the way down. And what I would say is, see this little island right here? I would probably, you go on either side of it. I think it's probably more plausible to do this side of it. And as you come here, you would probably go along through here and just kind of around this curve here, I guess. Just envision this as being some kind of launch in the future, and what you would need to kind of look at to make that viable. If that makes sense.
absolutely, I got it.
All right.
I got my notes here. We're good.
Okay.
And we're all good if you don't add any money to the contract.
That's okay.
And
For clarification for minutes for the motion, because from what I heard, you were including Deidre Circle, but you're removing Deidre
No,
Circle.
take it out.
It's coming
Okay.
out.
And
So
channel
removing
23.
Deidre Circle,
Removing number
removing
23.
channel 23.
Yep.
And including Manatee Point up into the line,
To our city line.
and then
Around-
Brasher,
On down,
extension to Brasher.
extend that line all the way to connect it with Brasher Park.
Okay, just
And then
that's,
cover
I
the
needed
two
that for
sides of it.
clarification.
let's see what he
Okay.
comes up with with that.
Can I ask if Mr. Starr, are you able to just read price on the fly at the podium, or do we need to?
Let me regroup with our surveyors, our seagrass team, and get back here. But just at a high level, eliminating some of them, adding some of them, it kind of looks pretty.
Wash.
It looks like 50-50. But don't hold me to that. Let me put pen to paper, please.
It'd be a real one if you could bring it down just a little bit.
Yeah, we really like it then.
Well, it really comes down to just how many linear feet we have.
Right.
That's what I just have to go back and just
I mean,
see.
visually, it kind of looks like a wash. So I think we'll be in that same 4 point or 4. Was it 40-70 or something?
470, yeah.
Ballpark. Do we need so we had 200,000 in dredging for this year. Also, we got 200,000 for the next fiscal year.
No, you have $135,000 left this year and $200,000 next year. When I was originally told about it, when I was making the budget, it was 291. No one told me we added anything to it, but that's what we have right this moment. But you also have contingencies if
Right.
you want to do that. But yeah, that's what we got. 135 and then 200,000 this upcoming budget year.
We talked about using the money for that next part, the next part project, looking that over. Right, the money that's there, that's just sitting there.
So, is there anything we need to do from a finance perspective, or are we good?
Well, I mean, we just have to reappropriate at some point. I mean, I'll hold the 135,000 this year once we settle on actually hiring them, and then we have the 200,000 next year. And then what I can do is look at it and see where we.
So next step, we come back with a contract and sign it? Or
How soon do you need us to do this for that deadline for the seagrass thing?
yesterday?
Pretty soon, we have 5 or 6 weeks left.
If we can get this done by next meeting, which is 2 weeks from now, if it even needs to come back, I'm assuming.
Next meeting is the 26th.
Yeah.
I mean, we call a special meeting if we had to.
We call a special meeting as well.
Yeah, let's not wait if we don't have to.
Do your thing, and then get back with us, and we'll do what we need to do to get you guys rolling.
Absolutely. May I ask one question to finance regarding the scope of works? We have one scope of work from a previous meeting. We have a second scope of work from today. How would you like us to present the final scope of work here? Would you like us to combine it in just a one scope of work rather than have revised ones floating around?
Yes. Just do a
One scope of work.
scope of work with all the changes.
Absolutely.
Complete picture, that'd be great.
Alrighty, I've got my homework.
Thanks, proud.
Alrighty, thank you so much.
All right, close public comment.
Wish you're still sitting up here now, don't you, Dave?
Go ahead, Dave. I mean, the vote's already happened, but we'll hear your comments.
I realize that, but Dave Mueller, 5439 Blue Point Drive. Did you pull out the canal behind Naughty Oar? Because I thought it looked like it was in there. Was that something else that needs to be eliminated in this revised proposal?
Some of it, a little bit's been dredged. Right behind Naughty Oar hasn't. It's like from Naughty Oar all the way up.
Okay, so
And so it's very little. It's kind of
Well,
irrelevant.
that line's going to go right by Naughty Oar, isn't it?
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
Naughty Oar does need to be dredged. It's right there like at Naughty Oar all the way up has been. And
Yeah, but the survey's going to, if it
Right.
does that change, it's going to cover that.
right, so it's
Okay.
so minute. It's not worth it.
Okay. Okay, next up, item number 4, the moment we've all been waiting for, council member appointment. And so we've got the 3 candidates here. Is there, just show of hands, is there anybody else here for a council seat other than the 3 that signed up? Denied. Denied, all right. Chopper, we got some property for sale. Some substantially damaged property, but property. So that being said, we've got 3 candidates that are interested in the council member appointment. What we've done in the past is they would have time at the podium. I would say 5 minutes apiece to tell us about themselves, whatever they've prepared, and then we have the opportunity to question. And then we go through the candidates that way, and at the end, then we come back to council for discussion. Motion. That sound like a good plan? You go with the 5 minutes for each candidate? Okay. So let's, and we can just go in the order that it was in the packet, which I believe Christine's first, but let me see here. Yeah.
The other's going to be excused while she's doing that.
It's a public meeting. I mean, they can't, they want, but we can't say one way or another.
Okay.
So, so yeah, so I would, you know what? Oh, that's not, sorry. Wrong link. Yes, so Christine is first in the packet, so I will turn the floor over to Christine. Welcome.
Well, hi. Christine Sullivan, 7808 Weber Lane. I know all of you, and I think all of you know me as well. I am a retired corporate paralegal with focus on regulatory compliance, contracts, and policy creation and implementation. I now have all this time on my hands, and I do a lot of volunteer work for the city. I serve on one board and 2 committees. I also moderate the city town hall on Facebook. It's an unofficial public awareness group on Facebook. That gives me an opportunity to feel what the community is looking for out of council members and just in general what they want to see. So, I watch all of the meetings. I've been watching the meetings for years. I used to have problems of my own. Mine are all resolved now. And so what I spend my time doing is creating procedures and policies and things that we could possibly implement within the city, but I can't do anything with that unless I have a seat on council. I don't want to take a seat just to sit there with you. We can sit together in restaurants and on our porches like we do, but I want to get in that seat so that I can work with you, so that I can implement some of the things that, I think about and some of the things that I know that the residents want. So I would just appreciate the opportunity to get up there with you.
Thank you. So I'll open up the council questions, if there's any questions. None?
None?
Okay. Thank you.
Nobody has a question? Okay, thank you.
Okay. Next up is Linda Rodriguez. Welcome.
Hey.
Howdy.
Linda Rodriguez, 5917 Lantern Court. Had my hip replaced, so that's why I'm on the walker. Been a resident for 38 years. The first 29 of them, I was working 50, 60 hours a week in hospitals, running nursing units, taking care of my children, going to football games, and being a mom and a nurse. My husband passed away 9 years ago, and about 6 months after that, I became involved in the city. As you all know me, so I don't have to really go into much, but served on CAC the majority of the time, was on council for 3 years. I lost to Lisa and Chris by 20 votes, but I'm very passionate about the city. That's why I still live here. I love the city, and I want to continue to be a voice for residents. And I know sometimes we don't agree, but I don't see that as a negative. I see that as a positive, because I think that brings many viewpoints into light that 3,000 residents don't all think alike. So I just want to be a voice for people, and I just want to help, and that's all.
Okay. Thank you, Linda. I'll open up to any questions.
Thanks, guys.
Okay. Next up, we have Matt Douglas. Welcome.
I thought I had to keep this thing at 3 minutes, so I actually did write a whole
slower.
Read it slower. Got it. I just want to say good evening, Mayor, council members, everybody, and all the residents of Port Richey. My name is Matt Douglas, and I'm here tonight to sincerely express my interest in serving on the vacant seat on City Council with you all. Since I was 18 years old, I've dedicated my life to public service and leadership. Just prior to moving here, I was previously the mayor of Taylorsville, Kentucky. I served a 4-year term. It is a mayor-council form of government. When I was there, I led a community through both everyday governance and extraordinary challenges, including the COVID-19 pandemic. I worked closely with public health officials, emergency responders, and community leaders to make informed, timely decisions that protected our residents and supported our local economy. And Taylorsville economy was already known as a bedroom community and a crashing economy as it was before COVID-19. So COVID-19 made it even worse. I took on bold moves when I got elected. When I got elected, I was a citizen of Taylorsville for 2.5 years. I got elected when I was just there 3 years, so I wanted to make some big changing bold moves that the community wanted me to do. One of my bold moves is I fired the police chief 6 months after taking office. I just basically took the community's word and went around, did my own investigations, research, that kind of stuff, and determined he was not the right choice for the city. After that, I worked pretty much with every single staff member in Taylorsville community. I worked with the City Hall staff. I worked with the city police officers. I worked with the water and sewer guys. I even worked with the water sewer treatment plant, which I don't know if you all know, in Taylorsville is these giant basins of water that is just raw sewage that they put chemicals in and it dies off. And I wanted to learn what every single role every one of the employees in the city did so I can give them the tools that they needed when they came to me. I wanted to learn how to do their jobs. Prior to becoming mayor, I served as a deputy sheriff in Louisville, Kentucky, where I gained firsthand experience in public safety, law enforcement, and the importance of building community trust. As a deputy sheriff in Louisville, there's every single department you can think of, from wanting people in the courthouse at the magnetometer, which is a very, very, very important position, to serving warrants and emergency protective orders, inmate transportation. I did it all with the sheriff's office. I also, in Taylorsville, became part of the volunteer fire department. Taylorsville Lake in Kentucky is one of the biggest fishing lakes in the state. I was part of the scuba dive rescue team there, where I participated in emergency response, search, and rescue operations, including body recovery. In my time here in Florida, I've only been here a little over 2 years, but my time here in Florida, I've continued to serve in ways that directly relate to the needs of the city. In Port Richey, I'm part of the Planning and Zoning, the Citizens Advisory Committee, and recently the Historic Committee, which we still haven't had our first meeting yet. I'm an experienced boat captain. I've learned a lot from a wonderful boat captain in Port Richey that has taught me a lot. A great leader. I'm still learning, of course, the waterways and dredging needs daily. This meeting helped out a lot, learning some more dredging around here. I am also the current general manager of a marina in Tarpon Springs, which is it's a pretty big marina. It's called Tarpon Landing Marina. I oversee operations, handle all related financials. I lead a team of about 10 employees. I work with customers daily. This role keeps me connected to the boating community and gives me a strong understanding of the challenges and opportunities of our local waterways and the importance of them. I believe my leadership background, my understanding of public safety, my local community involvement, and my firsthand experience with our waterways make me uniquely positioned to contribute to the growth and success of Port Richey. My goal is to work alongside you to create a city government that listens, responds, and truly serves the people. I've only been here 2.5 years. I'm sure you're probably wondering, why do I want to be a part of City Council? My reasons for wanting to be part of City Council began when I became in the middle of a code enforcement situation, and when I went to the city for help to resolve these matters, my concerns seemed to me that I was being ignored, and the city even tried to prosecute me. I'm talking like city-related, daily city operations, not council. I had to reach out directly to Mayor Hoover for guidance, which without his help or where to go, there's no telling what the outcome for me would have been, and I had just moved here. That experience opened my eyes, and because of it, because this could have happened to me, I realized it might be happening to others in the community as well. I believe the government should work with its residents to solve problems and not prosecute them unnecessarily, and help educate them if and when possible. I want to be part of the solution, to listen and to help. I just want to say thank you all for your consideration and listening to me for my short speech here.
Yeah, good thing you had extra.
Not that short, but.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Matt. Is there any, open up to any questions? Council?
No.
No? Okay, thank you. Boy, you guys are easy. So I'll start. The one thing I want to say is we have a very difficult decision up here. It's very difficult. We're making a decision for the residents that elected us, and so obviously this goes to an election in April, unless we see fit that we want to do that earlier. But I want to press upon a chance. Thank you for your interest, each and every one of you. Each one of you has strengths that would serve well in council, and I just want to say I was in your shoes back several years ago. I came to a meeting for an appointment. Matter of fact, Linda remembers it well. It was myself, Linda, I believe Sherry Scher, and Caitlin, the four of us. And I remember we came here and we did the exact same thing. We petitioned council our interest, and I didn't get a single vote. And so whatever happens tonight, I want to impress upon you, don't give up serving the city. We need people to help. And just because you aren't selected tonight, we only select one. We don't have 3 positions, unfortunately. We don't have 2 positions. We have 1. And we have to make a difficult decision. And so I want to encourage you to continue to be involved in the city. We need you, whether it's up here or in our committees, our boards. We really appreciate you coming out and serving the city. I can't thank you enough for that. But I want to make sure that whatever happens, that the ones that do not get selected, that you stay involved, don't give up, and continue on. Like I said, I'm a case study in that. I didn't get a single vote. But yet I came back and I ran. I lost. I came back and ran again, and here I am. And so don't give up. And we appreciate you coming, and like I said, all great candidates. So with that, I'll open the floor for motion and discussion. Yes, sir.
I would like to make a motion, but I'd like to preface my motion first. I would like to make a motion, but I'd like to preface my motion first with some comments. First off, each person who's running for this seat right here, I know. Each one of you is totally capable of this job. You know, some of you have sat here before and have had a long-term success at the seat here. Some of you are serving right now. Both of you are serving in 2 different positions. And so I can't thank you enough. You know, being here, we need your help. The truth is we need your help, but we don't have 3 seats in here. So we're going to have 1. And that means we have to make a decision tonight as a council who we want to appoint to that seat. So my motion would be to appoint Matt Douglas to that seat.
Okay, I have a motion for Matt. Is there a second? Seeing no second.
I'd like to make another motion.
Sure. Motion dies.
Yep, that motion dies. I'd like to appoint Christine Sullivan to that seat.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, I have a second. Any further discussion? Any public comment? Seeing none, bring it back for a vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Christine, are you prepared to be sworn in? Absolutely. Is she okay to swear in and sit up here?
I can swear her in now. At your direction, are you wanting her to serve as council member for the rest of this meeting? I don't know if she's apprised to what's on the agenda. That's completely up to you.
I'm sure she probably is.
I am. I just want to make sure, but yeah.
So we're welcome to have her.
That's up to her, I think. Yeah.
If she wants, you can wait, or you can come up here. You want to do it now?
It's up
to you.
You're welcome to.
I think we
It's up
do
to
it
you.
now, get it over with.
And make sure
Okay.
you send your email resigning from P&Z.
I will.
No.
Right.
Or just the
Board of Adjustment.
Board of Adjustment.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, one of those. Yeah. Resign from P&Z and confuse everybody.
Come up here and raise your right hand, and you're going to repeat after me. So I'll go slow because it's long. Okay. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support,
that I will support,
protect,
protect,
and defend the Constitution
and defend the Constitution
and government
and government
of the United
of
States
the United States
and the state of Florida,
and the state of Florida,
that I am duly qualified
that I am duly qualified
to hold office
to hold office
under the Constitution
out of the Constitution
of the state,
of the state,
and that I will
and that I will
well
well
and faithfully perform
and faithfully perform
the duties of councilwoman,
the duties
on which I am now about to enter.
of which I am now about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Councilwoman Christine Sullivan. Congratulations. After the meeting, I'll have you fill this out and we'll sign it together, and then you'll have a copy. Okay?
It's long. Hey, Chris. And Christine, I got your PC up here ready. You should be able to pull up the agenda.
Not on.
Yeah, I got some practice earlier, so.
Oh, there we go. You have a password?
You have a password.
Okay.
So there's the council meeting. This is the CRA. Okay, one more thing on the council member permit appointment. So by our charter, based on the changes that we just put forth in the last charter change, it automatically will go to a special election in April with a regular election, where they'll run for the seat, and that will have a 1-year term, which finishes out Dave's term. Council also has the ability to put that back to the people earlier. Is there any interest in doing that, or waiting until April is fine? Your thoughts?
I think wait until April's fine.
Anybody object to that? Okay, so we'll let that stand for the April election. Okay. Okay, next up, item number 5, appointment of members to boards, committees. I'll pass that to Mr. Butterfield for introduction.
Yes, sir. Mr. Mayor, it's a motion in front of you to approve the appointment of Mrs. Kim Lakari to the Historic Preservation Committee. She has volunteered to serve.
I'll open up to motion or discussion.
Make a motion. We appoint Kim McCarty to the Historic Reservation.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion is second. Any further discussion? Any public comment? Seeing none, put to the vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next up is item number 6, Utility Department Purchase Request, HACHDR 6000 spectrophotometer.
I'm glad you said it, so I didn't have to.
I will pass it to Mr. Butterfield and tell us a little about it.
Just, I've been promised it'll help us make us more efficient and accurate in our measurements for various sampling, and it's over the $10,000 threshold that where I need to bring this to council, but I recommend this approval at $13,156.
You gonna cover the rest?
I will. It will. What are we using now? They had that 186. Sal, can you help me out?
I'd have to verify what we do, but we do limited testing now, and we correspond with the county to do this. This will make this basically open up the spectrum to test for a lot more different types of, more or less, the different aspects, like what chemicals and whatnot that are in the water. It'll open the door and save us from having to
Depend on them.
depending on them for testing. And especially with the regulations that are coming down from FDP yearly. This is an important item to purchase.
And due diligence.
I was at the plant last year, and Sammy had talked about this over a year ago and how important that was for all the work that they do over there, and they could actually target stuff and make it easier for their job. That's all. I thought it was a great idea.
It was competitively priced, and I'm very comfortable with this purchase.
Okay. Any other discussion or motion?
Motion to approve purchase of Hatch DR 6000 spectrophotometer from the U.S. Blue Book for $13,156.
I'll second that.
Okay. Motion second. Any further discussion? Any public comment? I recognize
Till midnight.
Dave Mueller, 5439
Blue Point Drive.
Blue Point Drive. I think this is something that's a good thing. It just needs to be framed a little better. I heard that we're outsourcing stuff to get testing done, right? That could have been identified, and that's a cost that we're going to avoid and conceivably would have paid for this thing. So when we do our business cases and when we do our capital expenditures, we ought to be looking at both sides of the equation. Things bring benefit to the city, and we ought to be looking at those benefits and saying, okay, if I spend the money on this, 13 grand, and I'm avoiding spending $15,000 on testing, that would be an easy equation to look at, and it wouldn't take any time at all. So my suggestion would be is let's look at the business case that we're putting forward. Let's look at the pluses and minuses and arrive at a net position so that you guys can make a better decision quickly. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. Any other comment?
Yeah, that's a good point, Dave. You brought that up. This has been a little over a year ago, and I'm an old man, so I don't remember all the details, but I do believe Sammy told me that this type of device, something like this, would help them with labor over the years, labor costs, because they wouldn't have to be working hard on certain things if they knew it wasn't in the water. It helps them target certain things. So I think over time, it'll save us on labor. That's a good point, Dave.
Yeah, it would be nice if we could do a cost benefit analysis on some things when we come to do this, so we get a full picture. We're spending $13,000 some odd dollars, but if it's really only costing us $6, it'd be good to know. So if we also keep that in mind as we put these together, that'd be great.
Understood. Thank you.
Yep. I put it to vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Next up, item number 7, amendments to City of Port Richey sign code. I'll pass that to Mr. Butterfield for introduction.
Thank you, Mayor. So there was a workshop with a slightly different council back in March, and this has come forward now. And it was suggested to me that we might want to delay this, have another workshop?
Yeah, so
Such a big item.
let me
Here all night.
let me add to that. So our sign code is very large, very cumbersome, a lot of working parts. And I know Nancy has kind of put it, what you see in front of you here is there's a lot of stuff that was put in there that needed to be by law that we need to add in there for that. But I want to make sure we get this right. Also, we want to be business friendly, and there's some good things that were suggested, like the ability to use LED signs and whatnot. But and to change some window signs. But I really think we could spend a lot of time doing it now, but I really think this warrants kind of a dedicated workshop to go through line by line and pull some stuff out, consider it, put some stuff in maybe to get it right and do an overhaul of the entire sign code. It's very important. And as we have new development stuff coming, we want to make sure that we have a good set of sign code that does what it needs to do, is not too restrictive, but not open Pandora's box either. So what's y'all's thoughts on tabling that?
For special, are we doing it with the
Yeah, and I would,
overlay with both of them?
yeah, I would actually pull the waterfront overlay district as well. I mean, I think the discussion here is, do we want to, I think the waterfront overlay district needs some work outside the sign code. But I think the context of this is do we want to have that supersede our regular sign code, do something more special for that particular area? I think we probably pull that out and discuss that at the same time. And we might, while we're doing that, we might make it
More special.
Yeah, because I know that there's a lot of stuff in the waterfront overlay district. For instance, Gill Dog's shown as a residential property, so it's been there for a long time. So we need to probably dress that up anyway. But yeah, I would suggest pulling both 7 and 8 out and having a workshop set for just those. What's y'all's thoughts?
Well, there's some signs that need to be replaced over right now. And I think we should allow them to do that. I agree with the workshop on doing get more detailed with it. But I think we should approve some digital signage over on the waterfront. So some repairs can be made now. They've been waiting for this
I agree.
for a year.
What kind of signage, Bob, are you
LED signs, because the old ones.
Well,
like-
LED signs are, they're proven LED signs. We just had one approved.
Yeah.
Well, yes, because they can't even
Not
get
on there
the
now.
old signs anymore. You know, everything's updated. They're going to LED, and I know
They
people are
can't-
waiting on them.
They're not allowed to repair it.
So if
Or they're not allowed to repair LEDs. I'm sorry.
yeah, what? So I don't.
hear them.
My understanding is this wasn't for action for approval of this.
Yeah,
It was to
this was
give
discussion.
planning and zoning guidance.
No,
So
yes. The sign code they've done many, many times with the discussion for the waterfront overlay district. Council had talked about it at some point about just the sign part at the waterfront and asked P&Z to look at that.
Yeah,
When
I
P&Z
met.
started looking at it, they said, we know that there's a new image, or image is not the right word, but a new thought process for what council envisions for the waterfront overlay district. So they wanted to come back to you guys to kind of give them the direction of what you're looking. What
Yeah, I
you
think-
want waterfront
Well,
overlay
yeah, I
district.
met with them in their meeting and explained to them, that they have a lot of digital signs except for waterfront. And I just think we should include them in with digital signs over there. We have planning and zoning that can get with the business leaders and see what they want, and they can come up with a guidance.
We did that.
They did that.
We did that for sign
Okay.
code. That's two separate things. The sign code they did that for. The waterfront overlay district, they want direction from you guys as to what you envision that area to be. They realize what it is now as in writing is not what you're seeing it as in the future. So they don't want to make one change to
Right.
the sign portion of the waterfront overlay district code when you have a vision that changes more than that.
And I think the one you're referencing, the one to do science catches, was in the waterfront overlay district. Right now. So I guess
So for that
You're allowed
for
to
that
have a digital
circumstance.
sign on the other side of the street.
So for that location, you need to deal with your sign code and the waterfront overlay district.
Right.
Both parts are going to need to be adjusted before anything can be different down there.
So
For that
if I'm
specific.
If I'm correct, Bob, is there people in that district that cannot get a digital sign right now?
Correct.
Yes.
Nobody.
technically nobody can.
Yeah, I'm interested to hear that someone did.
I don't know.
But you can on the other side of
Like they
19.
can get a permit to.
Not digital.
They can get a permit to fix their sign, but then they're not allowed to fix the sign because
You know,
it can't. It's
So, a path forward to be able to be somewhat nimble and
So,
allows.
so this wasn't for any action tonight, right? As you mentioned, these were both discussion items because the sign code itself is big. It took P&Z 4, 5, meetings to get through it. So this was purely for discussion. So if you want to move things forward, the next meeting we need to have the ordinance ready and move it forward. And if you want the waterfront overlay district to change, I need to know now what that change is because it has to go to P&Z before you guys can take action on it.
Well, the way I feel about it is I think we should approve digital signage, but as far as overall and what our visions are for the waterfront district and commercializing the city as far as Grand being downtown, I don't know what developers are going to come in, but they might have a better imagination than we do. And I think we should make an action on this now and see what kind of ideas, and we can adjust and make a decision as far as overall signage at that time, depending on what kind of imagination they may have. It might be better than what we come up with, and we'll have to change it again then.
And we can change
That's a
just
thought.
that one
We
thing,
can change
right?
it,
Can't we
yes.
just change and say, well, we now allow?
Yes.
So
why are we eliminating the latest and greatest efficiency sign there is from the water?
We're trying to add to it, right? The current code doesn't allow for it.
We're trying to fix
the
that.
new suggested revisions.
We want to allow it.
Well, instead of kicking the can down the road, why don't we just approve digital signs in the waterfront overlay district, and
That's
then we
what
can tighten it up from there.
Because you can, but there just have to take the steps to get there. So it needs to go back to P&Z for them to do an ordinance to make a recommendation to you. That's just the way the process works. It went there. They chose not to make any specific suggestions. They wanted more direction from you guys.
To the WOD.
To the WOD. The sign code's ready for you guys, but there's a separate step for
So
the
I'll make the motion. We go back to planning and zoning and tell them to give us the authority to come back and put digital signs in effect. So we can deal with all the other stuff later.
So
That's okay. The WOD is very specific to like the material for the sign. I'm gonna look at it.
So planning and zoning is the quickest they're going to meet is the 26th. Okay. I mean, we can parcel out the digital signs and kind of move down that and do the couple meetings or whatever to get that done. That's probably an ordinance 2 readings of us, right? I don't see where if we just get together and have a workshop potentially before that. Again, we have to look at the calendar, but go ahead and cover everything instead of going right back to them. I mean,
Bob's saying there's 2 businesses or more that are waiting on sign.
Yeah, but another couple.
I talked to them about that, and they approved it. They said we should have digital signs over there.
And I agree. I think if we could just gavel in and say
If you're a
digital
business-
sign, gavel out, we could do it. But it's not this process. You got to follow
But if you're a
enforcement.
business that needs a sign that's already been waiting, and then we're gonna wait 2 more weeks, till a workshop or whatever. If we all agree?
But again, it has to go. So if we,
I know.
here's the process. So if we agree, it would go to planning and zoning on 26th.
Right.
They would do something. They would come back to us. We'd have 2 meetings that we'd have to make the changes.
And it wouldn't be until a couple weeks after that because you guys meet on the 26th, so it wouldn't be.
Let's get the ball rolling.
Yeah, I know. Let's get the ball
rolling right now.
I've been talking to them about this for 6 months
Well,
now.
when you say get the ball rolling, it's all getting the ball rolling. Do you want to just get just a little piece of the ball rolling, or you want to get the whole ball
We
rolling?
got to do it in 2 parts. Let's get it done because it sounds like that's a bigger ball to get going. This one here is like we just prove it today. It goes to planning and zoning,
Okay, well,
and we start the clock.
I guess we could do a limited. We're going to allow digital signs on both the. We could. Well, that's already in the actual
WOD.
section. Why don't we pull up that digital signs language that you have already?
Well, what I'm looking at is the WOD. And
Well, what we do, we mimic what we have in.
we can, I understand that's not right now the goal is just about the digital, but looking at the signage language in the WOD right now, you want to remove all of it and just put digital signs. I don't think that's the goal you want. So I don't know that it would be best suited for anybody to just add one thing and try to move it forward. I think it needs to be addressed.
All I see is adding a
holistically.
variance. Can't do that?
You have language in there that doesn't allow that. I mean, that would be
Really?
Yeah. So I truly think I understand people are waiting and they want to get this done, but I think the best way to do it is to look at the W. And if you don't want to look at any other part of the WOD, that's fine. You just need to give P&Z direction on the signage portion more than just let people have digital. You need to look at what's there now and figure out what you want to change, because it's very specific. You can tell it's trying to convey a certain look for that area. So it'd probably be better, in my opinion, to address it all at once. You don't have to listen to me. I can go back and tell them they want digital in there, and we'll put it in there.
Well,
but I think it might cause more trouble later.
You allow them to have digital, which they should have, but then Whiskey Joe said, and they said we can put digital, and they put a massive digital sign. I think you have a variance. I think the maximum size is basically was on Catch's building, and you shouldn't have any bigger variance as far as digital. I want to ask zoning to figure out what size it as a variance on that. As far as signage and type, I think we just have possibly a variance. Where as that develops, I don't know. I mean, you got marquees up and down the road. If you want to just allow marquees on 19, but something different on Treadway, that's a workshop discussion, I think.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to. I think we got, rather than just run out the gate, I think we probably need to have a workshop, and we can do it quick. Sometime next week, if we can fit it in.
All right.
And let's hash it out and try to get it right. Yeah, it might add a month, but in the grand scheme of things, if it adds a month, it saves us to go back. Yeah, do it once.
All right.
And we get it right, and because the public needs to comment, the opportunity to comment on that stuff. And
so the workshop includes all the stakeholders.
I would say the workshop, we dive into the sign code, we go through it, which includes digital signs. We look at the digital sign code that you kind of already put together.
And a workshop can be early, right?
Yes, be during the day, and I recommend we do it during
So
the day.
can we get some ideas from Andy? It's from other cities similar to ours, Andy?
We'll see how it's done.
The sign code, that's done. You have a brand new sign code. The big in your agenda tonight, the big packet,
Yeah.
a bunch of red and green and blue
Yeah, I
line.
saw
That's
that.
that's the work of P&Z, and that has all the digital stuff that's other areas, other cities, all that's been done. And like the 5 or 6 P&Z meetings that we've had. But now it's time for you guys to look at it and see if you like it.
God, I love this job. We've also got the wayfinding project going on involving signs.
Yeah, and probably we're going to include some feedback from that.
Yep, true.
So, I mean, I'm all about doing stuff quick. I hate bureaucracy, but I mean,
me too.
This lives on well past us, so we need to make sure we do it right. It's not been open for a long time.
When is the back end of the wayfinding? I mean, it's like wayfinding. When's the back end of this? I mean, like at what point will they come back? Are we looking at like a month, 2 months?
Well, they're going to start. We've already had our kickoff meeting. They're going to start setting up workshops and input meetings, surveys. Start getting council input, committee input, and general public. And we're going to be starting that soon. So
we don't really have a frame. It's just how it works out with the meetings.
honestly, for the entire
6
process,
months?
I believe it's going to be about eight to 10 months total. So, but I'll get you a more definitive timeline next time I talk.
But that's good to know because I mean, it's going to be 8 months. There's still some things that we're going to have to do in the meantime, regardless of what the wayfinding project does.
And we can honestly come back and make tweaks.
Absolutely.
But let's actually do due diligence and try to get it right, so it doesn't have to go, because planning and zoning, they're volunteers, and when we send it to them, we want them to act on it, get it back to us, so we can get it in place. And so I would recommend that somebody make a motion to table 8 and 9, and we'll schedule a workshop.
I make a motion to table 8 and 9.
Oh, I'm sorry, 7 and 8.
7 and 8. I make a motion to table 7 and 8. And have a workshop
Okay.
early in the day.
Okay.
On a Thursday.
We'll schedule it right after we get this passed.
Okay.
Is
On
there
a
a second?
Thursday before lunch.
Is there a second? Okay, motion second. Any further discussion? Any public comment? Sure enough, there is one.
Mueller, 5439 Blue Point Drive. In the process of looking at the signs within the WOD and without, you ought to give consideration to having one sign code that applies across the entire city rather than multiple, because now you put all that onus on the code enforcement guy and you don't get anything done. So let's just try to create more red tape and get things drawn out. This is going to take 8 months. That's not a good thing. So I think you're on the right track. Let's get one sign code. Let's simplify it. Pasco County's already reducing the height of the stuff along 19. I see all these things. I went up 19 today, all the way up to Spring Hill, and all of the signs in front of the buildings have been lowered, the majority of them. I don't know if that's something we want to adopt here. It actually is harder to see them because there's foliage in there, so I don't particularly like it.
Blocks traffic, you see now. Blocks
I don't like it.
traffic coming.
Yep, and then you can't see a car pulling out, and I think it creates accidents, but that's my opinion. I have one. Thank you.
I would not have known that if you wouldn't have told us. And so, and to your point, yes, I think we need to, as the waterfront overlay district is concerned, I think we need to look at that and say, what things in there do we really need to make specific to that area? And if we don't want to make things specific to that area, we pull them out. And if it's sign code is we don't want to change sign code for the waterfront overlay district, we take that out, and then it applies across the board. So that's the conversation we'll have. But we got to focus in on the sign code, get it right. Okay.
Only day I'm available next week is Monday.
That time the same.
Thursday works for me.
I have Monday.
Does Monday work?
That's the only day I'm available next week.
Monday works for me. You get something Monday? We
Well, we may have a phone call that morning.
Yeah. This will be afternoon, so you will be here. Huh? Are you, Monday work for you?
Sorry about that.
Depends on my time.
Good.
The developers.
Probably.
Right now,
after-
that might be, it's not set that we can probably work the time for that. I can be here, I'm open all day on Monday.
Monday 11?
we got a potential workshop with the.
But there's no time set. So we
I
can
know,
work-
but if we
But we can set this and then work around that. That was just any time after 10, and I haven't heard back from everybody.
Okay.
So
Monday
we
at
can make
1.
that later.
that'd be better after lunch. Because probably if you start 11, then you get push your lunch.
Then you get hangry.
So it's into noon.
We got another. Potentially, we got something going on in the morning, so I'd rather leave the morning for that.
And I got some work stuff. I don't want to do any earlier, but
So let's do 1 o'clock on Monday. If that work, for everybody.
Sounds good. Yep.
Yes, ma'am.
send me a reminder.
I'll send it out on calendar invite.
Somebody can bring lunch.
Agenda will be out.
Somebody can bring in lunch.
You city manager, man, do your thing.
All right.
Okay, good on that. Moving on to item number 9, discussion on boat parking in the city. Pass it over to Mr. Butterfield for introduction.
It's another one, Mayor, that I think it came up before in my first week here, I think in June. And it was decided to push to now, push to later, and here we are. So it's regarding parking in driveways, visibility or parking on the side of the house, and do we want to revisit the code on boat parking?
Yeah, so this, just for more context, obviously this went through the planning and zoning board. They discussed it. They did not come up with any changes, and so it just kind of stopped there. But obviously it needs to come to council. So they didn't have any recommendation to do anything with it. I'll say my spiel. I've said before, we're a boating community, and you can go through and you can park your boat, an RV, on the side of your house, and it can actually look unsightly on the side of your house, but you can't park it in your driveway. And so I'm an advocate for allowing some flexibility and people being able to park their vehicles on the property within reason. We want to make sure that it doesn't detract from the community. And so
Or block view.
right. Well, again, when you talk about blocking view,
I'm talking about like on the street, like if you're on.
right. Yeah. Can't block seeing down the street or whatever. You want hanging out into the right of way.
Right.
But we don't want people parking boats in their driveway and it become unsightly. So I mean, we can look at from this, and this may be something that we want to take a little deeper dive in a workshop. We've got some time now. We can discuss it, and we can always continue to discuss it later too. But I think if we built some rules, and I think they should apply on the side of the house as well. I think if you have a boat parked on the side of your house, it should be covered. It shouldn't have plants growing out of it. But I mean, technically, you could probably do that now, right? Because it's on the side of the house. But you can't park in your driveway. Keep it covered, licensed. Again, I think it needs to be licensed. It can't be just a a workboat.
This is
or
zoning
work in
and
progress.
we have a zoning committee, and they keep giving us workshops. Have them come up with some.
Well, so this went through and they did not decide to do anything.
They voted to make no changes.
So we could agree with that.
Have to do that.
Just what are they? Well, then that's what they meet and have pizza and say, let the council decide what's going on.
Well, so ultimately, ultimate decision resides with council. They made a recommendation.
Yeah, but they should give us suggestions and options to vote on. That's all.
They're in their opinion, as that board, they did not see any reason to change anything.
Okay, we'll leave it alone then.
That's an option. Did you have something, Christine?
Well, I think we ask a resident to volunteer on these boards and committees, and if they come back to us saying that they have no recommendations, we should listen to them because they're representing, the public, and they're taking their time to come up here and volunteer for these boards and committees. So, if they say don't do anything, then we're not asked to do anything. And
Yeah, they aren't elected by the people. They're appointed by the electeds.
Right.
So a lot of times those folks have been on for a long period of time, and there's no necessary change out unless they get removed. So there could be a disconnect between them and the representation. So just keep that in mind.
I mean, we've come to the consensus that we're a voting community, right? We're on the water. Water is our natural resource that we have here. It's what drives property values. The closer you are to the water, the more valuable your house is. Houses that are a block away are worth more. And the ones that are out here right now that are not on the water, their houses are so old and so close you can't even shove between the houses without parking half in your neighbor's house or not. And I think, within reason, we should come up with some kind of solution to put a park boat driveway. As long as they're maintaining it, it's in good shape, the cover's not ripped, inspected, there's air in the tires, it looks good. I don't see we should have a problem. It shouldn't be a 42-footer.
That there you go. There shouldn't be an exception and stuff like this. Like you got a boat. So if I put my boat in my driveway, the neighbors would be blocked by traffic coming down the road.
Then you're gonna need another.
And it's okay for them to do it, but it wouldn't be okay for me to do it. And that's the only
How big is
hiccup I
your boat,
see.
Bob?
Well, if it was on a trailer, it'd be like 32, 34 feet. It's not that long, but with the trailer and everything, yeah, it would be.
So you're saying it's a problem to even put a boat driveway at all? Or
In my driveway, it would be. My neighbors could put one, and it wouldn't be in anybody's way
maybe
or
we can
anybody's
say you
problem.
put it in your driveway if it stands 10, 15 feet off the end road, or something like that.
Yeah, but it doesn't. That's the thing. Yeah, but you're right. If you have the right of way, as long as it's clear the right of way 15 feet from the road, it shouldn't be a problem. You could make it something.
Give enough room for the Uber to pull in there and pick you up. Pick you up and back out again,
So that's the only objection. I'd have no problem with people putting boats in the right of way because some of them are nice. They cover them, and they're not interfering with anybody. And if they want to park it on the side of their house and the neighbor don't care if it's on part of their property, I don't see why we should interfere with it.
The reality is it's a vehicle, right? And we park cars in our driveways. I don't like parking on the grass. Temporarily if you're having something, whatever. But long-term parking on grass, I don't like that. I think that looks trashy, even if it's a licensed vehicle. But when I drive through, not just Port Richey, but anywhere up down the coast where there's water, I expect to see boats. And if I'm moving to a part of the town on the water, and there's no boats there, I'd be like, what's going on here? So people want to come here and they want to purchase property and they want to be able to use their property. And like I said, as long as it's a parking surface and it's a registered vehicle, whether it's a boat, RV, trailer, what have you, in my opinion, I'll be able to use your property. Now you can't hang out in the road and impede traffic, and you can't have wheels falling off and up on jacks and stuff like that, flat tires. I mean, the easiest way to prevent bad stuff that could happen is to not allow anything, right? That's a standard government tool is let's just lock it down, nobody can do anything. And it punishes the people that try to do the right thing. At the end of the day, if you buy a house here and you don't expect to see a boat, I don't understand why you'd be buying a property here that's not expected to see a boat.
I think we're on the same page.
Yeah. So
what about establishing some setbacks for sight lines and maintenance boats so that they don't become eyesores, so that they don't sit there
because a lot of people don't use their boats. There was one right down the road from me that was, it was an eyesore for a long time. It's gone now.
Right.
If that was in a driveway, then
Yeah,
see
and,
that become.
and so I think we need to make sure that if if it's sitting there and it's not being used, obviously they're using it for the weekend. They park it there. They're going to go out and on the ramp or whatever. That's fine. But as it becomes stored, parked there, it needs to be covered.
Well, I
And it
think
needs
right now-
not with a Harbor Freight tarp, right? But an actual custom cover. And we put those things in there. And I think one way that we could possibly help with that is if we integrated a parking pass, if you will, that they would pay a yearly fee for, and that in order to get that, to allow it to park there, they would, there'd be code enforcement come inspect out and says,
And golf cart thing.
right.
Well, they're required to have a tag. If you park, I believe right now, they have to have a current registration, so it's not like a.
Well, right, but we could do it for our city to allow you to park. You would pay a fee, and it'd be some.
$100 a year, decal goes right on your trailer. Boom. Blue, green, yellow, or orange.
And you got to have air in the tires.
Yeah.
And that way, at least every year, they would have to get that recertified to allow. So you don't have somebody with a piece of junk sitting there.
And that allows for a little bit of money for us to
Exactly.
too.
$100, you think, huh?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
I'm $50. I'm cheap, but that's fine.
I mean, I think $100 is cheap to keep it in your driveway versus pay $600-700 a year to store it in storage.
And people are going to say, it's my house, why should I have to pay to put it on my driveway?
So I think what we should do, and I don't know if we can find maybe some example code from another city that allows.
I've taken notes of everything suggested, and I will find what I can and create what I can based on what you told me.
So I
bring something back.
So is there any objection to us moving forward with looking at possible code changes to allow for boat, RV, trailer parking within the city? And we'll get more detail later.
I think we should look into it.
Okay. Any objections?
I'll make it part of the workshop Monday.
No.
Okay.
That's probably too much. You might want a separate workshop.
Got all day. I mean,
Yeah. Well, sign code's going to take a while.
We start at 1, right?
Yeah.
I would just add it, if it can be as objective as possible. It's hard for the code enforcement guy if it's very subjective. Like, I mean, you know an eyesore when you see it, but it's hard to describe it. So, and it's a tough job to have.
Right. And I think the cover requirement on that, if it hides the eyesore, if it's missing seats and stuff, but it's got a nice canvas cover on it, who really cares what it looks like underneath it?
Right.
As long as it's visible from. No, that's not a cover. I'm talking about custom canvas cover. We could put stuff in,
right, 10 feet from the
issue of the
road.
maintenance of the tarp.
Can't be ripped.
Right, the tarp must be.
So we can get into those things, but it's just let's forward. But there is a certain amount of guidelines that we need to put around it so it doesn't get abused. And I also think those guidelines should extend to the boats on the side of the house too, because if you put the same boat that looks like crap in a driveway or the side of the house, it's legal on the side of the house, currently not legally in driveway. I don't want to see it on the side of the house either.
I've seen boats on the side of the house with trees growing out of them.
Yes, exactly my point. So I think we need to, while we loosen it up, we actually tighten it in for any visible boats. We don't see crappy stuff, RVs, whatever. Okay. Public comment. Dave Mueller, welcome.
Dave Mueller, 5439 Blue Point Drive. About 5 years ago, I tried to get this moved forward from out here, and I suggested looking at the code that Tarpon Springs was using for boat tagging. You got to have a parking permit to park in the city, a trailer at the ramps, and trying to look at getting that implemented here, just like you said, maybe $100 a year for residents, and look at the non-residents if they're parking it at the ramp and stuff. You get some kind of a deal for that. That's what I used to have to do in Tarpon Springs. I'm not sure whether they still have that. Maybe Frank can comment on that. Thank you.
Anyone else?
No, only another thing to consider is that it be their boat.
Yeah. Maybe it has to be the actual owner.
Want to rent out.
Otherwise, somebody can have
Yeah, that's a good point.
Rent out
20
driveways, right?
Yeah, it's more of a,
Becomes an
it's your
income.
property, your boat.
Gotta register to you.
Yeah.
Right.
If you're renting a property, obviously it's registered to you. That's okay, but you know, I can't take my boat over to Bob's house. Park it over.
No, you can't. I can't put mine in my
You can't put yours in your driveway, can you?
Cap on the number of boats, the Bubba's boat.
Yeah, we get into details of counts and all that. I think there's a lot of discussion around
Yeah,
guidelines.
I just thought that was one thing there should be.
Yeah, no.
I don't think it's a big
We'll cover
deal.
the gambit.
Not a big deal.
Okay.
Okay.
Moving on.
Moving on. Where are we at? We're almost
Old
done, I think.
business.
Discussion of old business. Item number 10. Is there any discussion of old business?
Yeah.
Bob, take the floor.
Whole bunch, actually. So, as everybody knows, we've got a lot of money for utilities, which they've got a plan now for, obviously, the lift stations to be repaired and updated, as well as storm drains. Got a comprehensive plan to do that. I've been discussed with Andy about a comprehensive plan for the water mains. We have one that runs under the river. It runs through the waterfront as part of it, and then it runs between Ketches and Port Richey and across the river. That's eventually going to need to be replaced. It's not an emergency, but it's got to be replaced. That's a huge project to take that and get it engineered and run across the bridge, and of course approved by DOT. You're looking at over a year and a couple $1 million to do that.
So if I could ask you on that pipe, you say it needs to be replaced, whatever. What if you had a conversation?
The subaqueous pipe that's there now, where the limestone pier was, is functional.
Right.
But, Councilman Hubbard was talking about for the future, maybe having
That's the
hung
future.
one on the 19 bridge.
But in order, before we do that, right now, the water mains on the other side over by Limestone would probably blow out. They're rusted, corroded, falling apart, galvanized pipe, and saltwater intrusion like most of the pipes in the city. So that, I think, should be put through. I think we should let Andy, you want to go ahead and talk about what we've been talking
Yes,
about?
sir. One of the appropriations we got from the state this year, we haven't actually received the funds yet, but on the way. We met this week, met with the councilman, and we think those neighborhoods on the south side is probably the place to start with the galvanized pipe and asbestos pipe lining swap outs. And so we'll come back with a more detailed written plan and some slides to show you. But we're going over priority. Those pipes, I think we said, were about 60 years old, probably. So
they're disintegrated.
Yeah.
And it's a pier drive, mallet, beams, and putting a fire hydrant. We don't have a fire hydrant over there. If we put all this in motion, there's also pipes over there. They're concrete and asbestos, and those can be replaced by the asbestos replacement grant.
That fund, yes, sir.
And that act. So that helps. But I want to put a comprehensive plan to show the state and Mike what we're doing with the money, how that's being spent, and why we're doing it, and what we need to do in the future. We're looking at probably a 10, 12-year plan. We're about $70 million. We're putting $40 million to a new plant. We're reverse osmosis, but we're feeding the water meters with crappy, rusted out lines, and they need to be replaced. And we need to. And now that we've got the state on our side as far as getting this done, we need to keep pushing and pushing. And I'm ready to go to Tallahassee in January with Mike to sell them on what we're doing and what we need to continue to keep doing, so we can do. I just need a comprehensive plan, which we talked about, which you're preparing to do. Daryl's the greatest guy for this.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And we're going to just keep putting this together. We're going to keep going to Tallahassee. We're going to keep getting the money to get this done for the citizens.
We're going to, as I said, we'll focus on the south side, the waterfront district, where it's good that's not going first because we don't know what the developers got planned yet. We'll meet with them again,
and that's easy
next week. But we can do that in the right order. So, but I think the priority for the $2.5 million is on the south side that you helped eliminate.
Well, it's $3.1 million because we got a $600,000 match.
That's right.
So we've got $3.1 million, $600,000 of ours, 2.5 of the states. And to Bob's point, we need to be
we're not
looking at where we're going to deploy that.
play
Deploy.
whack-a-mole with it. We're going to have a time-phased plan and starting it down there.
But I'd like to have something when we go to see Mike. This is our plan. This is what we're doing with what we have. This is what we need to do. This is asbestos and concrete. We're getting that from someone else, like on Sunset, but limestone is all the way down to Deidre is falling apart, and that's another whatever it costs, $2-3 million. So we have tests that need to be done, and it needs to be done pretty quick.
Yeah. So, Sal, you were probably involved with this when Matt was here and he put this appropriation together. I'm trying to wrap my head around, I guess, why we only asked for $2.5 million if that doesn't cover everything that we need. Because Bob's talking about $70 million, so I'm trying to make that jump. Why is
Matt put this together very, very quickly in order to get something sent to the state. I do agree with Councilman Hubbard is that this is an ongoing project. You're not just going to do this all in one shot. I think that a combination of a utility master plan along with starting this project should be putting ahead to at least, we see what it is and when we're going to start replacing these lines. And once again, utility maintenance is the same as any other maintenance program. We have to keep staying on top of it every year, do so much, and it's just like the dredging project that we want to do. That's not a one and done type of thing. We're going to be dredging for several years, and then by the time you get to the end, you're going to want to redo the maintenance program. You're not going to go as deep, but you're going to continue. And our team is very good at maintaining the lines, but fixing breaks and stuff like that. But fixing these lines has been a long-term city problem, and we have to get a program in place and stay with it, and stay with it. As far as like what Matt asked for that particular point, he talked to me and Daryl about that particular area because of the galvanized lines,
south side,
and on the south side of the city. And as far as concrete asbestos, I know Green Street does, and I'd have to confer with Daryl and see where our other focal points are. But the south side portion of the city, because it's one of our lowest portions, and the fact that there's galvanized line in there, needs the most attention.
So his context around that was for those specific types.
What his idea is, when I talked to him the other day, was he said he didn't just put out a number to see if it would work. And like Sal said, we can't ask for $70 million.
Right.
Because they're going to give us $70 million to spend it over 10, 15 years. So what we're doing, we're showing we're good stewards with what we have. And what we found with the money that you gave us, this is what we're doing and what we need to continue to do. And we're going to be here every year with what the projects demand at that time to continue to do what we need to get done to because they don't want bad pipes. They want them fixed. Sure. They don't want like a Flint, Michigan deal. So as long as we're good stewards with what they gave us, we'll continue to get it, I believe, if we show good, comprehensive programs and a program to get this done. And I think, like I said, in 10, 15 years, all the water mains, even outside the city, will be replaced. So that water plant will have purified water right to the meter for every citizen in Port Richey and outside the city that we feed water to.
So it sounds like we have kind of a place to use that $3.1 million. So it's just a matter of showing that in the comprehensive plan with the rest of the thing. Here's what else we have to do, and here's the age of these or whatever. But I think we know what we need to do with this 3.1.
I think the more that we're gonna apply to the state, we should just like Councilman Hubbard said, we should have a plan. I mean, the thing is that the last year Matt worked incredibly efficiently and quickly to get something submitted because we were trying to get that ball rolling. But now that we have that ball rolling, and we know that there's going to be a return, we should proceed with deeper scopes, and definite ideas. That way, our lobbyists can pitch that to the state and show more detail. And I think that's what we need to do moving forward. Is because if we're going to ask for more money, and I've already conferred with the city manager about projects that we have that are much more than we've just received. And if we're going to start asking for more, I think detailed scopes is going to be required.
We did pretty good without a plan last year or earlier this year, so I think we can, with a plan, I think we can still.
No, I agree.
And I'm just talking to you guys about letting Andy move forward to get this comprehensive plan with Daryl and Sal, so we have something when we go see Mike in a few weeks, we can tell him this is what we're working on. And by the time he goes to Tallahassee, hopefully we'll have all the tests done and everything. We can have it in writing, and we can show them what we actually did, what we're doing, and what we're going to be doing in the future. So they expect it, and they're going to be happy that we're being good stewards with the money, and we're being very professional about it. Yes.
Yeah. I'm not knocking Andy or the staff or Daryl or anybody, but when it comes to figuring out what pipes need to be replaced and what places that need to be replaced on, this is more study than just an internal staff thing. You know, you almost need expert opinions on this. Am I right, Andy? Is there some type of expert?
It costs money, but it'd be very welcomed as Sal. We do repairs and things, but our guys can't put in a multi-million-dollar project. We don't have the
Or
equipment.
even understand, it's almost like a crossword puzzle. You got to start in one place and work your way to another one, or you got to start here and work your way back, or something like that. There's a way to do it.
Well, like I said, that's what if you should make an appointment, talk with Daryl and Andy, and he'll show you. They work on the pipes. He knows all the pipes and
We
what
have the
needs to
local
be
knowledge.
replaced.
I can tell you right now, any engineer, any company you hire, they're going to be talking to staff. And, 85-90% of that input is going to come from people who are on the ground handling that every single day.
So we don't need an engineer to engineer this stuff?
No,
just
no,
like,
I didn't say you didn't need one. What I'm saying is that they're going to confer with staff on these projects.
Of course they are.
Some of
The
it
fact
you
is
will.
that's why we said like a utility master plan to formulate a plan, just like if you were to do a asphalt study. You wanted to tell me right now what roads, after the paving and whatnot we did, I would suggest to you another asphalt study to show where our roads right now between the reclamite that we've done and the paving that we've done, and then that way you would see that study. But once again, that's going to be an input with staff and a collaboration with staff on that. Daryl's been the boot on the ground since he first started here, and has been constantly working, and all the other workers that he has with him, and some of that experience ranges from almost 20 years of experience in this particular utility. So you're going to have that with an engineer, but I do agree with that because you're going to need some sort of with any project that you're going to pitch to the state or to anyone else, they're going to want to see it on paper. They're going to want to see detailed drawings or a detailed plan of what's going to be done. And just like your comprehensive plan or any other plan that you do for the city, you're going to have an expert on that. And I agree with both of you, but I think we're all on the same page here on what to do to move forward.
I guess all I want to make, Bob, you're all over it.
I've been working on this with him for over a year.
You're all over it. And I think that's great. But I think we need a comprehensive plan that says, okay, we're going to start here. Pop, that's 2.5 million. We're going to kick 600 in. Pop B is here. We're going to need this much here, so they can see this line.
That's what I'm asking Andy to do. That's
exactly. Are you capable of doing that, Andy? Or is that something that gets a little deeper than that? Because we're just paying $500,000 to go check seagrass and one-eyed
We'll be hiring
frogs.
an engineering firm.
What's that?
We'll be hiring a firm.
Okay, that's what
yes, sir.
okay.
And I think it's been described well. They count on local knowledge, and we count on their expertise.
Got it. Okay. So it all gets drawn up, and it all has.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we'll go stand in front of Mr. Hooper up in Tallahassee, and we'll say, "This is why we're doing this because of this, and this is what we're
Do
doing."
we have 2 weeks to do that right now, Bob?
And actually, I can sit in there with Sal, and and Daryl can pretty much do it with us. Yeah. And we need to
Just
take
saying,
that
as
to
far as
Tallahassee.
getting Mike something he can present next year, so we can continue to go because we haven't got the first money because we don't have a plan in place yet.
Not yet. No.
We're not. You're exactly. We're not going to be able to show a lot done. So I think the more we can show, we have a multi-year.
Well, I think
plan.
what we show is if we had a heat map of the city and we show in red, here's the pipes we're focused on for the 3.1 that we just got, and we're in the process of working on replacing those. And then here's where we're wanting to try to get funding for this section. It's whatever attributes it has, how old they are, whatever.
Yeah, the green areas in a couple of years, we're going to need to do these.
Just map the city out.
I just think if something's better than nothing right now, and we can always bring back a fine-tuned thing 30 years from now. We don't want to miss out on some money next year.
Okay, just like explain it to Mike now, but by the time it goes to January, we need to have a portfolio of our future comprehensive water main plan. Yes.
Yep. Okay. Hey, what other business?
Well, I wanted to say first, before the meeting, I didn't get a chance to. I want to thank our chief, aka Batman, here for the job he's been doing. Citizens and bragging about him. I got a lot of compliments, and it's really nice to see promises made and promises kept. And Frank's doing it. So just want to say kudos to him. Thanks. I appreciate that. And also, we almost got in concrete. Sal's wanted something to say about firework display.
Yes, we're talking to the vendor that we had done the fireworks in May. They're formulating a multi-year contract to do it on the 1st of every year. So it would be July 1st of every year. They're going to go back to a barge setup because, conferring with the fire department, that's a much safer setup that we had in the past. We're going to go back to a barge setup, and they're going to formulate. They're just waiting for possible tariff input, impacts to come through so they can give us a final quote. But we've been discussing doing a multi-year contract, so then that way this isn't something we have to do every single year with council. We want to do this for the 4th, we want to do a 4th of July event every year. It's something we've done pretty much every year except for the year that we just had with the Centennial. That was only because we didn't want to do two so close. But that's the direction we're going forward. If council has any issues with that, let me know now so I can go back to that.
What? Go ahead.
I mean, I'm like, July 1st is a Wednesday.
Tuesday this last
Tuesday. Well, yeah, so I'm saying. I mean, my whole family's not even going to be here, so we're going to be celebrating by myself. I don't see what we're looking at the fireworks. If you're going to do it, you got to do it on the actual day to get the bang for your buck to have people enjoy it.
They can't be everywhere on that same day.
You're not going to
I don't
get
think we adjust our schedule, then we find somebody else to do it.
Yeah, so I don't like the set day just because it could be on stupid days like a Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever. So, you kind of want it to be on a Friday or Saturday.
Yeah.
Really. So I would rather do something like the first Friday of the month, first Saturday of the month, or something like that, as opposed to locking in a particular day that's going to float all the time.
It'd be hard to get a contract like that, though, because
I think it would be just as easy to get a contract like that as it would be to say the first of every.
I mean, you can walk out your house in the city just about anywhere and see the fireworks display, which is fortunate for us. But it gives you a chance. You want to see those Newport Richie. Some nights it'll fall on the same night as Newport Richie. Some years, every 7 years, it'll be on a Saturday or a Friday or a Sunday, and then like 3 years it'll be on the weekend, and then 4 years it'll be during the week sometime. But at least everyone will know the 1st of July we're going to have a firework display, and it's going to be the best value we can find right now. It should be a great display, just like the Centennial. Be a little bit better because we even got more money set up for it. So to get a 5-year or 4-year contract or something and know you're going to have it, trying to have it on a Saturday, I don't think we can do it. And then we talked to Gary about this, and you have a problem like on weekends and getting staff people.
Well, a holiday, doing it on a holiday is hard. Telling the employees to have the holiday off, then we have to have the mandatory people come in on a holiday. So the actual holiday is the issue. Whatever day is that holiday.
Yeah. So the 1st, we'll have plenty. We'll have manpower, no problem. You put it on the 4th, we won't. Weekends, we won't because they're off. And you're asking them to cancel vacations with their family to do this.
But if we look at that through the same lens, the people that are going to be watching it, right?
Who it's
are
for?
The same people that got off, right? You know what I'm saying? So they're going to be working because on that 1st of every month.
At 9 o'clock at night, some might be, but
well, hold on.
Some might be working on Saturday night too.
What's that?
Some might be working on a Saturday night. I never could see it because I worked on Saturdays, but I'm just saying some people everybody should be home by 6 o'clock. Most people.
What? Hey, Chopper, what Newport Richie, your set, what is it every?
The last Saturday of June.
Last Saturday of June is when it's Newport Richie, so obviously we wouldn't want to conflict with that.
If I may, we thought that fit nicely in the sister cities, and we could be known for it's predictable, it's better for the staff, it's better for the first responder manning, and making the holiday, and we could be, first in fun, first in fireworks, first in freedom, and but we might be second because we're following Mayor Chopper's thing on the last week of June. But you can become known for this because we're competing against towns with much bigger budgets. So we thought it's a way we're competing for a limited number of firework providers that have with towns that have bigger budgets. So we thought it's something we could lock in and be predictable.
We started this, people been around 25 years ago, some number like that, because the mall always did it on the 4th. So we didn't want to compete with the mall. So we started it on the last Saturday of June. And one of the other reasons that it grew so well, as much as it does, it's a Saturday. So you have all kinds of things going on during the day, and then the fireworks kind of end the night. So you're choosing a day, you could choose the last Sunday of June, and you'd have a whole day of events down at your park and then have the fireworks ended off, just as an idea.
Yeah, and so that's, I really think we ought to. I wouldn't do it any time other than a Thursday, Friday, or Saturday if you want to do middle week. But going on a Monday, Tuesday, you're not going to. I mean, it's not for us; it's for the residents,
Right.
and it's for the surrounding area. And it's unless it was on the 4th. Now, if we do it on the 4th, then I would say yes. That's 4th of July. But outside of that, I would rather pick a day on as close to the weekend as possible and just go with that.
Well, we're trying to put the best display for the citizens that we can, and they're booked.
Well, I get it.
They're not available all these days that we want to do it on. Some days, some years they might be, and some years they might not be.
They did an excellent job for Centennial. I have no, and if that doesn't necessarily guarantee it's going to be great next time, but we assume that, right? But they're not the only company in the world that does fireworks, and so I don't want to make a weird date just to try to accommodate as one vendor.
I'm not accommodating. I'm thinking of the staff too. I'm thinking of the staff, and I'm thinking of the citizens too. When I was talking about everything, but we got to do something now because they're all booked up.
Yeah.
I mean, you go try to bid out and say, I just want it on every Friday night, the last Friday of June or the last Sunday of June, or you're eliminating yourself.
Well, this company for next year, what dates do they have available?
Well, they're still open to dates. I mean, it's the thing is that the fourth is probably locked in with them by now because they work multiple shows. Even on May 18th when they did ours, they did 3 other shows in different areas that night. So they work multiple shows. From what they told me is that the 3rd and 4th were booked. But I can ask them about the 28th, Sunday the 28th, which would be the day after Newport Richie's. Then we can do ours the day after. And then that way people would come to us just like they would go to them. And the thing is that once we have a locked date and start doing this, we can promote this well in advance so people will know about it. So
I'm not sure if you're like this year be 28th Sunday. I think what they're asking is like to be the last Sunday of June or the last Friday of June every year that day. Not necessarily the date would change instead.
No, and yeah, I mean if you're open to locking in the Sunday and doing it the fourth Sunday of June, we can lock in that, and then that way we'll always coincide with Newport Richie.
I think Friday, because you're talking about people working, they got to get work Monday morning, but they don't Saturday morning. But then, like he's talking about having an event all day, they may not be able to do that, but they would be able to participate in the fireworks display. But I mean, that's the discussion. Friday night or Sunday night. If you want to do it a Sunday night every year, he could go to the vendor in the last Sunday of June and see if that would work.
Or the Friday before. I mean,
That's even farther away from the 4th of July. If I may, I don't have a dog in this hunt because I personally hate fireworks. They're bad for events, pets, and wildlife. So, but the city wants fireworks, we'll do fireworks, but we're missing an opportunity to lock it in. We can't get the 3rd, 4th. They said they were booked. Other companies may be, but again, those nights for the 250th birthday of the United States, it's going to be a busy Saturday night. I don't think we'll be able to compete for anybody else. We might be missing an opportunity to celebrate first responders. Honor them on the 1st of the month. So some thought's been put into this. We can backtrack and stop, but trying to get the 4th every year is probably a non-starter and out of our price range.
Yeah, no, I don't think we should do it on the 4th for sure. It's just the cost is not. We can do a better show, but not on the 4th. But
I mean, if we just go out of the box for just a minute, what are we spending on fireworks?
20. We got 30,000 budgeted.
And about 20 grand. 20 last year. 20 for the.
we budgeted 30 for, that's budgeted for stuff, but just the fireworks about 20 grand.
The budget line is 30.
Yeah.
It's other events. I mean, we got Newport Richie doing fireworks on Saturday. Is there something else we could do with 23 grand to celebrate our first responders, our police, and our community, and our 250th anniversary? Something other than blowing that stuff up in the air and the dogs are all
Drone shows are a big thing, but they're pricier right now. But that's something we can look further into. Maybe the price will
The
come
mayor
down. as
came up
gets
with
more
a good
common.
idea. I thought he wanted to have a mayor's ball every year. I thought we could have a fireman's ball one year, a policeman's ball another year, utilities ball, you know. And we could hand out awards, maybe possibly for them at that particular time or something.
I mean, there's a lot of fireworks around here already. You know, there's already a lot of fireworks.
people
you can
like
hear them,
them.
you can see them, you can sit out there on your deck and watch them from all around the surrounding cities. I'm just wondering if there's something else we could do than dump 23 grand in fireworks that would be meaningful and lasting full, that would last more than 15 minutes or whatever it is.
Well, maybe we should, instead of have a discussion about locking a multi-year contract, why don't we just focus on getting a contract for next year, decide what we're going to do next year?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Because that's, 2-3 years now, we can always change things, right?
Okay.
So next year, July 3rd is on Friday, July 4th is on Saturday, the 1st will be on a Wednesday, 5th will be Sunday. And then if you talk about going back to June, obviously, the Newport Richie's going to do theirs on June 27th. And then ours, if we did the Sunday, would be the 28th.
And we did the third Friday, the third.
Yes, to see if they're available.
Third was booked, right?
Third's booked.
I believe, well, with that particular company, yes, but City Hall will also be closed on that day in honoring the Independence Day.
I mean, I'm just City Hall have to be able for us to do this.
Well,
The majority of your staff will be
Staff
off that day.
off. Staff would be on if you.
So-
Well, they're going to be out. They're not working on Sunday either.
Right.
So maybe the Sunday the 29th.
Sunday the 20th. That's so right into Newport Richie's display.
I mean, is it just me or is staff not work Sunday too? I'm just trying to understand that.
That same problem, right?
The 3-day weekend, they're going to be on vacation.
But a holiday weekend obviously is people might want to go somewhere. If you, that's I think that's the difference.
Okay.
Working Sunday or Saturday not a big deal, but if you got a 3-day weekend,
24/7. So one way or the other, don't revolve around the fire department. We work 24/7. Whatever you guys decide, we'll figure out and work. The only thing I was saying was when it's a holiday weekend,
holiday weekend,
it makes it a little different. That's
because people want to go somewhere for a holiday weekend. So I think that's reasonable.
Yes.
So that probably works for Newport Richie too. It's not falling on the holiday weekend. So maybe for next year we look at the Sunday after theirs, and we'll think about it going forward. What's your thoughts on that?
I think we make a 1-year commitment and then we talk about it. That's what I think. Yeah.
Sunday, the day after Port Richie's or Newport Richie's.
You think it's a little bit much?
People love to go fireworking.
Is this old business?
Yeah, we were trying to lock it in.
We're milking it out like a dairy cow. Give us a minute here.
So what you want to do is Sunday, right after Newport Richie's this next year, and
Or we could be under the punch do Friday.
Okay.
Pick a day. I don't really care. It's
What do you think, Christine?
I really don't care one way.
What do you think, Sal? 28th Sunday.
What would staff prefer?
Right.
Well, it's not about what staff prefers. It's just, it's just the fact that I believe that one of the reasons that Newport Richie does theirs the weekend before is because they do know that it's a holiday weekend, and it's not just staff that are going to be off, but everyone goes on vacation, for that weekend. I mean, that's it's not just about staff, but what it is that, the PD is going to be escalated on that weekend because everyone's going to be launching fireworks all throughout that night. And it's a holiday weekend. It's not July 4th. It's not going to be on a weekday.
Well, we're
So
off
they're
that.
going to be very busy.
We're off that weekend. I'm talking about.
I would personally recommend doing it either the Friday before Newport Richie or the Sunday after. That's my recommendation.
Everything's the Sunday after.
Any objections to Sunday after?
I
Chief, what do you think?
What's Ashley think?
We'll make it work.
No objections.
What would be your preference?
We'll make it work. Sunday after.
Sunday.
Do it on a weekend.
All right.
For Richie's.
All right, Sal. Sunday after. Sorry about that. I thought we had it figured out.
I will get quotes for council and
All right.
move forward with that.
Thank you.
Any other old business?
And that's Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, right. No, not real. Well, Dave, we got 45 minutes. You got anything?
No. Dave doesn't get old business out. The you did do some on the pier, limestone pier.
I have not been able to look at it yet. My boat blew up when I went to look at it, so we're getting the fireboat in the water, or one boat in the water, so we can go look at it. Hopefully, in a day or two, we'll have that figured out.
I sent you.
I know it's still there.
Thursday at 10 o'clock.
I sent you an invitation for Thursday at 10 o'clock.
When did you send that?
I sent it today. So you'll on your computer you'll see when you go home.
Alrighty. Thursday. Let me see what we got here.
Any other old business? Okay, seeing none, I will move on to comments from the mayor and city council. I'll start with our new councilwoman.
I did not come prepared
No
with
comments.
comments tonight. I did not. But I appreciate the opportunity to serve with you, and I'm looking forward to getting busy and get my hands dirty finally. It's great. Thank you.
Okay.
Congratulations.
I wanted to bring up something, there's been talk here the past week or so over standing water, which we've had a lot of rain and water is standing. But one of the streets was Lorenzen between Washington and Grand. And it flooded a lot of places during those rains, but it does always. That is a problem in that area. Somebody should look into that.
I heard that it's been looked into multiple times and that it's too expensive, that we don't have the funds to
I did
work on
look
that.
into it.
So,
I did.
yeah, so what,
I during the last 3 to 4 inch downpour we had, I mean, it was water. There was a foot of water coming out of the place where I was eating dinner at Fun. Okay. And so I said, you know what? I got this much water here. I'm going to drive by and take a look at Lorenzen. I drove by there. There's 2 drains that are out there right on the corner of the house right there where Blake's property is.
it's right there where the photo is.
And all the water was going down the drains. There was one drain that had his blue hose wrapped around it a couple times, and I talked to him about that today. Okay, and there was some trash in there. I mean, in my world, when something's clogged up, you pull the stuff out of it, you clean it out. But there was no water in his yard, and the ditch that had been cleaned out by Daryl and his crew was flowing like a freight train.
Yeah.
So, and that's what I saw, and it was flooding everywhere else, but his stuff was dry and high. So I think if we keep that drainage grate cleaned out, if the tenants help the people in the community help keep that cleaned out, if we keep the blue the hose wrapped around, that thing was blocking over half the drain.
So staff has that on their radar. I mean, they probably, since I've been elected, because I've heard from Mr. Snyder, and I'm aware of his issue as well. And it is an issue over there that one side street that comes into Lorenzen is actually concave in the middle, so it kind of acts as a water channel to go down there. Yeah, Chapel. The way it was designed, and he is in a low spot, and he's the lowest spot. And if the drain infrastructure there is not functioning at its optimal point, it could progress the problem very quickly. And so staff has been out there probably 15 sometimes in the last 2 years to proactively keep that clean at all, so it does flow. I as well drove over there, and I always try to, when we have heavy rains, just kind of take a look at that area over there. And when I went over there, was not any flooding going on. The water was flowing. Matter of fact, there wasn't even a lot of water in the ditch, which tells me it was working at its optimal point. But again, when you have a rain event like we had, there's going to be flooding, and there's no amount of drainage systems that you can put in place that can mitigate for that amount of rainfall. Because what happens is the ground can't hold it. It's saturated. It's like a full sponge. Water's going to hit it. It's going to sit on top of it and roll off it and roll to the lowest point. It just can't consume that into the ground. And so then the swales start to get inundated, and then as you have tidal events coming in and out, which if the tide's up, the water can't go anywhere, and so it's going to back up. So it's.
I can tell you, since living here for more than 40 years, the water drainage right now is better than I've ever seen it.
It's
I got some more hands off to Daryl and his crew.
Washington, Washington used to flood. Over there by your house, used to flood all the time. Now it's draining.
Blue Point, we used to have problems there. Daryl solved the problem there. It's just really done.
I can tell you, Bay Boulevard for the apartments. Anytime you had something like you had, there was water in the road, and I drove through there and didn't have any water in the road.
Yeah, I mean, he solved so many of our problems, and we got to keep. Blake's our resident. We got to take a look.
And they're continue to work on it.
Yeah, we're going to keep working on it.
The problem we have is the high tide flooding over on Sunset. You should take your Tesla down there on a 4-foot tide and see how that works out. Let him know, Gary, know what you're doing.
I'll put my Tesla up against anybody's Ford any day, buddy.
So the moral story is when we have these heavy rains, there's going to be some people that are in the most vulnerable areas are going to see some water, and so we need to be aware of that, and also we need to try to mitigate that best possible. And the best course of action is to take the system that we have and make sure that it's operating at its optimal point. It's unclogged, we've had the trash in it, it's dug out. And as long as we can stay on top of that, obviously as we look forward to the future, and maybe we look for some drainage money through the state. There are some things we could probably do with retention ponds. I know some property around Lorenzen that I mentioned when Matt was here that we could possibly buy, that we could put a retention pond in and maybe help that area, turn into a small park for that area, but it holds some water. So there's things I think we could do in that area. We need to be proactively looking at that, but in the meantime, we need to make sure that we're just being on top of that. We know rain's coming like that. Get out there and give it a cursory check and make sure stuff's being pulled out. And Daryl's doing that. And so,
Daryl's on top of it.
It shows. So, back to you. Nope. There. Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Hold on. You don't do your comments?
What comment?
Okay. Let me address this because so
Vice Mayor.
Obviously anybody can make a motion to adjourn any time in the meeting, and it can be seconded and we can get out of
No,
here.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I thought we were done.
But it comes across to me as rude when we're in the middle of an agenda item or we're in the middle of comments from the staff, or not staff, but the council and mayor, that somebody wants to make a motion. And I don't know if it's a joke or whatever, but let's try to give everybody their time. We all want to get out of here as quickly as possible, but everybody needs to make their time for comments, and you haven't had yours yet. So going forward, if we just hold the motions to adjourn until we finish city business, I'd appreciate that. So Vice Mayor. Oh, sorry, did you have some stuff?
Before we adjourn, and before anyone moves, I want to take a picture with the clerk and.
They still got.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They're not done yet.
Okay, I just want to make sure I get a picture for Facebook and the website for Councilwoman.
Yep, absolutely.
Sullivan.
Vice Mayor, did you have any comments?
I just wanted to say a couple of things. I wanted to thank Linda for her service here. And I did, Linda has done great things for our city. And obviously, there's a time and a place for everything. And I'm thankful for her service. I'm very thankful that you're here, Christine. I think you're going to bring a lot to the table. I did vote for Matt because I think Matt's a great candidate for this job, but that doesn't mean he's any better than you are. I want you to know that. All right. So thank you for being here. Thank you for serving with us. We're blessed to have you here. I really mean that. That's all I have to say.
Okay. Councilman Hubbard?
Well, you said I had a comment. I agree. Like the mayor said, Linda, you have served here. You've done great, and we appreciate you being here. And as he said, it's a hard decision. And as I told you, don't be a stranger. Stay in touch, and things always seem to work out for the best. And Matt's my best friend. I've known Matt since he moved here, and he worked for me, and I've helped him out. He's helped me out, and it's hard. But as I went door to door and I explained to the citizens of this town, I'm going to sit up here and do what's best for the city and for them. I'm not here for my friends or myself. I'm here to do what I think is going to be best for the city. It can change, but right now, this is the decision I made because I think it's the right decision. I may be wrong, but that's why I made the decision, because I think it's right for this time. I think Matt or Linda has a place up here. In time, maybe they will be up here. And it's, like I said, I hope they both, don't be strangers and stay in place. And we do appreciate it very much that you came in here. Keep it up.
Thank you. I don't have any real comments. I do reiterate that the operation the chief you guys did with the gambling facilities, fantastic work. Good to see that. I know that, like David mentioned, I received letters from anonymous folks about that, as well as people who were concerned about it. It's been a long time coming. Fantastic work. Glad that's in the past, and hopefully we can keep those
I
operations
think
out
that
here.
deserves a hand. That really does.
And the last thing I think, again, to reiterate, glad you're here, Christine. I think it'll be a valuable asset to the council. Linda, thanks for coming. Matt's already left, but again, it's a very tough decision. I wish we had more capacity up here to have more input, but we always have room out here, and maybe at some point we have some more comfortable chairs that would be a little more palatable and get your feedback. So definitely stay involved. With that, I will accept a motion at this point for adjournment.
I'm not making a motion again.
Motion, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor, if I say aye. Aye. Go back quick 5 minutes and then see you. All right.